Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South and Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you about today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you about today?
Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon. Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the South and Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon.
Folks, pleasant good evening to you. You're welcome to Spoon Talk, the nation's premier talk show here across the Spoon Network. We're also live on an array of stations across Liberia, including 4.7 FM there in Grand Crew County. Radio Gibi in Margibi County is also relaying this broadcast. Spoon TV Live, Liberia's biggest online TV, is also airing Spoon Talk tonight, as well as those watching us via YouTube Spoon Talk. I'd love to say welcome to you as well. Fabric 101.1, Super 95.5, and of course, the flagship station of the Spoon Network is Spoon 107.5, bringing to you the biggest talk of all talks in Liberia. So wherever it is you're listening to us from or viewing us from, we'd love to say welcome, whether you are Spoon Night, whether you are Spoony, whether you are Spoon. No, that you call out. Good evening, Balu.
How you doing, Dama? How you doing? How you doing to the audience? You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm wearing white for you guys. I want the blackness to shine red through. Dark as midnight. Welcome to the show, y'all. Let's talk Liberia across the country. I'm going to say hello to my people in Grand Bassa County, across in Riverside, across the country, Sano, Maryland County, all the way up in Lopa Nima. Welcome to the show, man. Let's talk Liberia. This is our business. We all got to make it our business. You're welcome. Let's talk Liberia, guys.
Yeah, so people were wondering why I started the show laughing out loud. Balu has, let the cat out of the bag. So I asked him a question like, Balu, you teach them why, for the black to shine? And he has already answered that. But Balu, how was your day?
My day was excellent. It was actually a great day. I'm making a lot of progress. Trying to control about 42 men working. You have to be out there with them in the sun. So the project is going great. My project has been going very aggressively. So I'm happy. I'm happy about this a lot.
Okay. That's good to know. A lot happening in the country. Folks, we want to welcome them before we start to talk about some of the trending issues happening across the country.
You're absolutely right. Let's welcome some people here to the show. I see Aram CFI Jr. Mr. CFI, how you doing? Fatah Sona Walker, how are you doing? Rachel Proud, Abraham Wilson, welcome to the show. Chosen King Enzo, Va Testimony, Rose Horace, Miss Horace, how are you doing this afternoon? I see Va Testimony, I think I said your name already. Over here, I see Chris Cajo, Dave Elliott, how are you doing? Political Darius Dole, Abel M. Momo, how are you doing? My brother, Kekula Sam Tabolo, how are you? James McGill, Daniel E. Bellito Sr., Mr. Bellito, how are you doing? Maya Conan, Haja Sata Ruff, Beatrice M. Mole, how are you doing? Margaret Morgan, Ibrahim Masekwe, Jones Queen, how are you doing? May Carter, Oliver M. Silly Jr., I see Colonials Hunter, Mr. Hunter, what's going on? SB Beat, my brother, how are you doing, man? I'm doing great as well. AJ Walking by Faith, how are you doing? Roland King, Daniel Morba, Baker Renzi, Mr. Renzi was popping. Robert Rico Maiwan, how are you? Pearl Campbell, Madam Campbell, Political Doris Do, I say your name already. Reward Alfred, Decan T. D. Davis, Madam Decan T. Everything has a time. How are you doing? Philip Almonds, I see Jerry Ziamio. I see Vani Kroma, Patrick Yan for Bro, Yusuf, how are you doing? Josh Cooper, Lawrence Waters, Elizabeth Matu Tubman White, how are you doing, Madam White? I see Marky Dana Wu Parker, Marky, how are you? Rufus G. Mullo, Aaron Knight Smith, Baker Rancy, Jebe Bakana, how are you doing? Armstrong Wabinda, Momo Ono Se Zokar, Wilford D. Dubber, everybody, man. You're welcome to the show. Let's talk Liberia. Let's talk Liberia. Everything is on the table. Yawala Jala. How you doing, Yawala? How's everything? I see Amelia Curtis. My brother Ahmed Freeman. It's been a minute there. How's everything where you are out there in Texas? I believe you're out of Houston, if I'm not mistaken. Everybody, man, you're welcome to the show. Let's talk Liberia. It's a lot to be spoken about. Don't get angry if we mention somebody that you love and care about. The intention is not to demean them. It's to make sure whatever they are doing, does not counter the forward march of Liberia. My intent here is to make sure Liberia rises above this station where we are currently. We are the least in everything. It bothers me to my core. Hopefully, we can get the change here on President Jose Yuma Bwakai. Daman, I'm going to give it to you, buddy.
Thank you, Dalu. Thank you for always recognizing our people. We just want to highlight some of the trending news across the country. The latest as of timeline is the issue of the Executive Protective Service, the EPS, issuing branding Pepsi Yeke, the former executive director of LACE, as wanted, in relation to a firearm, according to the just confirmed EPS director, Sam Gay, that Mr. Yeke is in possession of a firearm that belongs to the EPS. So let's just see if we can read that quickly. It's on Spoon TV, but this is a memo. It says it's a press release. It says from Honorable Sam Gay, signed Director Executive Protection Service, the EPS. Press release Tuesday, February 6, 2024. And it says the Director of the Executive Protection Service, the EPS, has declared Yeke Kwiwu, aka Pepsi Yeke, wanted, and put it wanted, or in, it's in bolding and all that, wanted, all in caps, for the illegal possession of EPS weapon with the following specifications: serial number 97344, marking number 73, weapon type Norenko 22 pistol. Any law enforcement officer that comes in contact with Pepsi Yeke should have him immediately detained and then contact the Executive Protection Service, the EPS. Mr. Yeke is considered armed and dangerous. So Pepsi has also responded to this press release from the Executive Protection Service, the EPS. This is what Pepsi Yeke had to say concerning, this release from the EPS. It reads, Pepsi Yeke on his Facebook page says, Mr. Gay, if you are incapable of understanding the task at hand, seek guidance from your former colleagues rather than flaunting your ignorance. To date, I have not received a formal request for the EPS weapon legally assigned to me, yet you rashly label me as armed and dangerous. Your sheer incompetence is adhering to procedures has not only led you, your sheer incompetence in adhering to procedures has not only led you to behave like a maniac, but also to publicly demonstrate your inability to handle even the simplest of tasks. If you lack the capacity, rest assured, I do not. Submit an official request and follow the proper procedure for EPS weapon turnover to ensure meticulous documentation. Your failure to fulfill your duties not only reflects poorly on yourself, but also on the integrity of the Boycott government. What justification do you have for baselessly branding me as armed and dangerous? It seems you have arrived at your new assignment with a personal vendetta against Pepsi Yeke. I consider this a threat on my life and is asking you to retrieve your statement within 24 hours and follow the proper procedure. So the question here to you, Dwalu, is, on what conditions were you given an assigned weapon? The answer to that is by virtue of your position that you held at that time. But should we be even issuing weapons, to individuals rather than assigning them, protective details? And if so, if what constituted you to occupy that position has expired, the law works in two ways. It's either the EPS requests that you turn the weapon over, or you knowing that you have a weapon and you no longer occupying that position are granted you the privilege, to have that weapon. You could have walked to the EPS headquarters and still follow the same procedure of turning over your weapon, and you get rid of yourself, not having any weapon in your possession anymore. This whole thing about this weapon thing, let's talk about it a bit.
Let me say this, Daman, and this is a great topic we're going to talk about. Under the CDC administration, they say everybody who has some direct connection to the president, we are carried a weapon illegally. Even if President we are gave it to you, There are certain people that are tasked under our laws to carry a weapon. Not everybody can just carry a weapon. If you guys remember, I believe it was in Lopa County when Colasco were carrying a weapon around. It was on video. There were photos everywhere. First of all, Pepsi is being extremely belligerent on this issue. If you were a professional Pepsi, I have a few questions for you. When people were turning things over, why did you turn it over? Why must it be requested by the EPS before you turn it over? That's the first question I'm going to ask for you. Number two, if you're so professional, why don't you realize that there are SOPs there before you leave that entity? When it's a turnover, you have to turn over everything in your possession. Number three,
including the weapon.
Especially the weapon. And number four, let me say this to you, Pepsi. The weapon is not your private property. Number two, because you're no longer there, now you are doing something that is extremely illegal. You cannot be carrying around a loaded weapon, even if it's supplied by the state. If the statute of limitation of the time given to you has expired, any time beyond that is illegal. Yes, you are armed and dangerous. You should not be taking weapons around the country. Whether you're in country or out of country, you're still in possession of a weapon that belongs to the people of the Republic of Liberia. Pepsi, I want you to understand one thing. The ignorance of the previous administration is over. I don't care what gibberish you put together to make yourself appear as though you're saying something. You don't own that weapon. The weapon belongs to the people of this republic. That weapon should be returned. It should have been returned before you even left the country if you are out of the country. And if you're in the country and you're still walking around with a weapon that belongs to the Liberian people, you are breaking the law. My advice to you, Mr. Yeke, tomorrow morning, go to the police station yourself, turn yourself over, and turn the weapon over and apologize to the people of this country. Maybe perhaps the EPS can waive those charges. But for me, I think you should be charged because you're committing a crime.
Yeah, so the issue of the weapon thing is whether or not Mr. Yeke, is in country or out of country, the president issued a directive, the former president, that all government assets and everything, should have been turned over. And if Mr. Yeke turned over everything that he had in his possession at the time that government owned, including vehicles and what other, government properties, the weapon, for what reason did he, hold on to the weapon for this long? As he has said, he didn't receive any turnover requests. But if I'm no longer occupying a position that you gave me the privilege of holding that weapon or carrying the weapon, let me return the weapon. Simple and short. So Mr. Yeke has said he's waiting for the turnover request from the EPS. But I think as he has reached this far, one person, should be the one to initiate this process and take the weapon back and say, look, it's just all about, I don't want to use common sense before I sound rash, but it's just about doing the right thing. It's just about doing the right thing.
Let me say this. For people like me who've handled weapons, whenever anybody who work at anywhere where they're giving you weapons by an organization, almost every single entity across the globe, and Liberia included. I have not read Liberia, transitional Liberia. If you're working for an organization, security arm, the police, the army, I know there is an SOP. There is some guidelines on how to handle those weapons and how to turn them over. If you're no longer holding that position, I can almost guarantee you automatically those weapons or that weapon has to be turned back over to the entity that it belongs, because the weapon does not belong to you. The reason why the weapon is given to you is because you hold certain statutory duty for carrying that weapon. But I asked the question. I believe Yeke was the director of LACE, correct?
Yes.
Does the director of LACE warrant carrying a weapon? My answer would be no. Does Colasco, the special assistant to the President Warren, carrying a weapon? It seems everybody who was in the government that was close to the president carried a weapon illegally, even if they gave it to you, because our laws does not demand that you carry a weapon. Number two, the reason why you have bodyguards, because they are trained to carry those weapons. Is Yeke trained to carry the weapon, or because he has close proximity to the president? Look, if we are going to make the issue of Liberia work, if we are going to make the state of Liberia work, there are laws that must be followed. The institutions that govern this country, if we don't follow the guidelines of that institution, we are not a country. We're just this convoluted, this concoction of a shanty town that you see where you see chaos everywhere. If we're not going to be a country, let's not be a country. But if we're going to be a country, we must be guided by the rules and regulations that ensure a civilized location. Currently, we are not. Daman.
All right. So that is going to be discussed in depthly on the show. It's just a tip of the iceberg, but that is news for everybody. Pepsi Yeke has responded. He said there was no formal turnover request, sent to him by the EPS, and he has admitted in his own words that he still has got the weapon. By the fact that he said he didn't ask me to turn over the weapon and do so in using the proper channel, and I'll turn over the weapon means he still got the weapon in his possession. Then he admitted that he has got the weapon in his possession. But let's move on to the next. So it's been all check marks,
Correct.
green ticks for all of the president's nominees so far who went for confirmation hearing. There hasn't been any denial, by the Liberian Senate whether or not there will be. The doubt really has been pinned on the Sarah Beslow Yanti confirmation hearing. But looking at the trend so far, the Liberian Senate again on today has confirmed an array of nominees sent to them by the Chief Executive of the Republic, His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boakai. So these are the names that have been confirmed. A whole list has been confirmed by the Liberian Senate. All right, so let's go through this list quickly. Yeah, it's a long one. So the Liberian Senate on today, the plenary of the Liberian Senate has unanimously confirmed several presidential nominees following reports from its relevant standing committees. Those confirmed there are various positions on Tuesday include Bill McGill Jones, Deputy Finance Minister for Administration, and Elwood Nete, Comptroller and Accountant General, Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. Anthony G. Myers, Deputy Finance Minister for Physical Affairs, was also confirmed. Defu Zo, Deputy Finance Minister for Economic Management Planning, and Tanem Brunson, Deputy Finance Minister for Budget and Development Planning. So if you look at that makeup, you have the entire finance ministry, the top hierarchy, already confirmed by the Liberian Senate. The plenary also confirmed the IGP, that's Colonel Gregory Coleman, the Inspector General of Police, has been confirmed, and also the Director of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, Colonel Abraham Kroma, also confirmed. Many of you know him as A.B. Kroma, also confirmed. The Executive Protection Service boss, Sam Gay, the Executive Director, he has also been confirmed by the Liberian Senate. The Senate also confirmed Dr. Jaso Mele Jala, Minister of Education. Dr. Alexander Nuta, also confirmed to the post of Agriculture Minister. Honorable Ami Modad, also confirmed as Minister of Commerce and Industry. All right, so the Senate has instructed the Secretary General to formally communicate these decisions to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Yuma Boakai Sr. So all those who went for confirmation so far before the Liberian Senate, they've all come up confirmed by the Senate.
Yeah, that is expected. Look, my audience. They black and you leave me with team. I go to America, I'll get letters more. I told you, say Susan, bad game on send me some more bleaching green. Yeah.
What personal issues you got with Susan? This is the second time.
Listen to the team, lead that team. That you're working on small. But let me say this. Let's go back to the confirmation. Yeah, you won't be in the fry.
No, I won't be inside.
Oh, okay. Come here. But my people, they black. I eat the song all day. So let me be black small. But anyway, let's say this. Look. The confirmation is expected. This is almost normal across the globe. Sometimes the legislature will give the president what he or she wants to make sure he or she succeeds. This is who the president has, quote unquote, reposed trust in, and they're going for confirmation now. But I want to say this though: if the issue of confirmation is always going to be automatic, why do we go through the process to begin with? The confirmation process, they say with consultation with the Senate, they expect the Senate to do certain due diligence. Now, if the Senate is going to confirm somebody, the Senate should at least release a report stating their justification for that confirmation. Maybe perhaps the public wants to know. They may say, oh, we don't have to do that. I get it. But sometimes, so we can understand, say, listen, we have all this X, Y, Z against this person, but based on all of this, we don't think this carries sufficient weight to deny this person. So we are going to confirm them because X, Y, and Z. So sometimes we can know exactly what's going on. Now, I see individual senators coming out every time somebody gets confirmed to create justification as to why that person is being confirmed. I believe the committee that does that confirmation for that specific minister or deputy minister, etc., should have a report or something like a little passage. Listen, we've confirmed this person based on this is what we consider most important to the country. But Dama, I personally don't believe that anyone is going to get not confirmed. If the president appoints you, you're going to get confirmed. Unless you kill somebody on Broad Street. But even that, I doubt they're not going to confirm you.
Quick question. This Pepsi Yeke, return your weapon saga that we're currently embroiled with, is this the tip of the iceberg? And are there still many of those weapons assigned to people who are close to the president and occupying executive positions that have not been turned over? Is there still more? Or this is what people don't term, some people are terming as a witch hunt. How deep is this in terms of weapons that have not been turned over?
A lot of people have not turned their weapons over. I don't think first of all, most of the weapons that were issued under the CDC administration, they're not going to be accounted for. I would say substantial.
And that is a risk.
That is a risk. They're not going to be accounted for because I have some reservation or some doubt that there were proper tracking mechanisms instituted to make sure these weapons are accounted for. So personally, I don't think some of those weapons are going to be accounted for. I'll put the number maybe 30-40% are going to be accounted for. And I don't think there's anything going to be done about it because this is Liberia. Nothing gets done about the people's business. Everything, anybody can do anything to whomever, as long as you're in government and you get some protection, you can get away with it. So there'll be a little bit of talk. Oh, you're pretty gone bad. They're going out there. You're not safe for the public. After 2 days, we'll forget about it. This is Liberia. The rule of law does not work, irrespective of who's president, who's not. This is how it is.
And how dangerous is that, especially for those weapons to, be taken away from the initial persons they were issued to, and then find their way down to others, and they can be used. We in a country already, where we don't have this issue of licensing carriers, except it's in the security sector and you're giving a clearance to carry a weapon. But ordinary citizens do not carry weapons. We still haven't reached that far to start, giving people licenses to carry their personal firearms as well. How dangerous is it if you have these weapons that have not been turned over?
Well, we can ask the question, how dangerous the entire country, not just guns, but regarding everything else. But it is dangerous because, let me tell you something. You have people previously that ordinarily would not be in government. And you allow these people to taste power, quote unquote, we put that into a quotation, to taste power. And now they don't know how to relinquish that power. And then they have a gun that was issued by the government. They believe their power continues. Who's going to stop them? How's that going to be tracked? I believe, look, if you guys remember, I think 2 or 3 years ago, when all the guns came into the container, I believe the Justice Minister Banks, not Banks, but Minister Dean said they accounted for all of them. We have not seen those weapons. We don't know who's storing them, whether they're stored at the armory with the army or the police, where the weapons are. So I know there's a lot of weapons out there because during the CDC administration, a lot of people were carrying weapons. If you have some affiliation with the inner circles of CDC, you carried a weapon. Who issued those weapons? Where were those weapons coming from? Have all those weapons been accounted for? Somebody has to speak on that. And then the security guys that are coming in, they have to ask those questions to make sure all those weapons are accounted for. But I sincerely doubt anybody going to care to the extent where maybe they want to target somebody, say, listen, they go after this person, but to genuinely go after the return of those weapons, I sincerely doubt it.
So from what I hear you say, is that the EPS and all other law enforcement agencies should do a comprehensive, list to look at their infantry, to see who were those given weapons to, and if they've returned those weapons, and if not, go there and retrieve those weapons instead of just focusing on pickups and other assets. They should focus on guns as well.
That's how it should be. It should be automatic. What you just said, it's not to be something to do. It should be something that's part of the institutional process to retrieving those weapons that were issued to people, whether they deserve it or not. But if it was issued, those weapons belong to the Republic. They don't belong to an individual. There's a property of the government of the Republic of Liberia. So if you're in possession of that property without beyond the statutory limit that you have been allowed to carry it, you are actually in possession of something that doesn't belong to you.
Do you foresee a longer list from Mr. Gay and his EPS in terms of retrieval of weapons?
Yes, I foresee a longer list. It should already be published. It's not something we should be guessing about. Look, think about the police. Think about the city police. At one point, even the city police commander, I forgot his name, was carrying a weapon, and he was instructed, yes, to go back to the police station and return the weapon. In fact, when he was entering the police station that day, he had his weapon on his hip openly, and he went.
That was doing the Gloria Musu
Scott case,
person of
exactly.
interest,
And he should not be in possession of that weapon. Now, somebody stated here, said, well, I should not say everybody. Look, listen, we are not going to completely satisfy everybody what we say. I'm saying everybody. Remember the language I use. Most people that was in close proximity to President Weah felt and then they carry weapons. This is not something that was hidden. This was open secret. We saw videos. We saw people hanging on vehicle. For example, Kalasco were carrying a 45 on his hip. Should the special assistant to the president be carrying a weapon? There you go. That's the question we should be asking. Should he? No, he should not. Was he? Yes, he was.
All right. So on a lighter note, this morning received news from Bapolu County that 13 Spanish surgeons are in that county at the Emirates Hospital conducting free surgery for Liberians, ranging from hernia extraction to fibra and the rest of those procedures. So far, they've been able to complete in the first day. They completed surgeries on 13 kids and 15 adults. They're supposed to carry that out for 2 weeks. And we pray that as many as our people, can get the relief that they do need as well. And also in Nimba County, there's report from our county correspondent that chiefs, paramount chiefs, and some of those in the employees of the Ministry of Internal Affairs are refusing to turn over 75 motorbikes that are given to them and one pickup. And it's reported that another pickup is MIA. They can't find it. It's nowhere to be found. There are reports that I want to finish racking it already, but it's an investigation that is ongoing. But the guys within the employees of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, including paramount chiefs and the rest who are employees of the Ministry of Internal Affairs there in Nimba County, are saying they cannot turn over those bikes, according to our reporter, because the bikes were not given to them as state property to be returned. They were rather given to them as reward, for their hard work under the Weah regime, and as such, they will keep them, they will hold on to them as well. In Lofa County, there's been an issue of contention. Citizens from Upper Lofa are saying that, look, all of the appointments coming from Lofa so far made by President Baika, they were originating from the lower belt of Lofa, not from Upper Lofa, but rather from Lower Lofa. And though they had the One Lofa festival that says it's all about one Lofa, but when it comes to this job thing now, there are two Lofas. Why is it that all of the appointments are coming from the lower belt, and they have nothing to reflect from Upper Lofa, and they too voted overwhelmingly for the president, Joseph Yuman Boyka? So those are just some bits and pieces of news happening across the country. We also got a report that, again, as of the time the report came, and it's a developing story, we on it, but it's been alleged that a security officer, the reason I'm saying security officer, the person who gave the info for us to verify said, something that we cannot verify, but we do know from our sources, all of the inquiries that we've done so far, that this person who carried on the shooting is reportedly a security personnel. Which security, apparatus is he from? We cannot say as of now. But it's reported that a security personnel shot someone in the ABC community area that's around the Baptist Seminary area earlier this evening. So we are investigating that as well. T. Basse Koula, I'm not the one dividing Lofa. I'm not the one. It's the news coming out of Lofa. As I said, it's reported. Yeah, I bring Neff to cut Lofa into two.
Thank you so much, though, guys. And it's tell me, I continue to ask this question: why do we buy people vehicles to begin with? Every responsible organization across the globe, we have a GSA. If Damon is an internal affair assistant minister assigned to Grangita County, Damon wants to go to Grangita County. They call GSA. A GSA assigned driver takes Damon to GSA and Grangita, brings him back and parks the car back at GSA. Why do we buy people vehicles? We've not learned this stuff long enough yet. Every single tenure of an administration, government property is not returned. Liberia loses millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars within a 6-year span because people just take government property and use them however they please. Nobody says anything. We continue to do the same thing over and over and over, and we don't have the resources to get the government properties back. Why do you buy it for people to begin with? Why does government even buy anybody a vehicle of any kind? Get your paycheck, whatever the government can pay you, you go ahead and buy your own freaking vehicle. The government must buy the vehicle, gas the vehicle, maintain the vehicle, and then sponsor you. What are you, a suckling child? I don't want to say something how we operate the government, but I want to say this too about the issue of local council. Look, I'm in no position to question how the president appoints whomever he appoints. But I'm going to say this. When we make appointments in a way where people feel they're not being included in that appointment, people will come out and start complaining. This is why we continue to advocate for setting a strict standard when it comes to government positions across the country. If you meet those standards and the president deems it necessary, irrespective of where you're from, this thing about we must take 2% from RGB County, we will make sure 2% come from Riverside County, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You want output. You want production. The best suited person to do that. You take the person, irrespective of where he or she comes from. I don't think anyone Liberian comes from entirely one county anymore. We are all over the place. Let's think about Upper Lofa, Upper Nima, Upper Bassa. This is crazy. If you want to appoint anybody he wants to appoint, let's stop this stuff. My thing is, if you listen, sir, President Bwakai, the private sector, to quiet down this storm, we must build this private sector. It's something I've been pushing forever. Let's put some money into the private sector. Let's get some professionals in here. Let's develop a private sector. We can hire tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Liberians in the span of 6 years. If you're very serious about some of these plans that we have put forth, come to the private sector. We can employ Liberian citizens. People will stop worrying about less than 30,000 jobs in government that everybody wants to go to. So nice, even to the point where those of us who come to Liberia, and we do this every single year. I mean, you stay long. I'm here maybe for another 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, however I feel. I got my computer here with me. I'm working from here. So when you come to Liberia, now the assumption is this job thing. Look, if we do not birth this private sector and hone the skills of Liberians that are graduating from universities across this country, the infighting will continue, guys. The infighting will continue. We have to provide jobs for our people. And there's a way to do that. What do we want to do with that is the question.
Okay. Thank you, Dwalu. We'll take some minutes to allot to our listeners to call in and tell us what's on their mind. 0777-1075, 055-101075. The former CEO is also trying to log in. And once he's on, definitely be turning the show over to he and Dwalu, as the rest of the other panelists will join on. But 1 minute per caller, please, as per what we've been discussing, national issues as well. Boyka's cabinet is also taking shape. So far, it's been 10 over 10, or should I say 20 over 20? Remember the famous 20 over 20?
Yeah.
220. Why have you been 20 over 20?
Leave that topic. Let's stay in the past more.
All right, he's doing everything possible. You won't come, boy.
You won't come, but you're not making it.
Let's take this person here. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, here you are, please. You're welcome, Spoon Talk.
Yeah, this is Dennis. I'm calling from Ghana, in Georgia.
All right, Dennis, please, 1 minute.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to two of you that started the show for the conversation. In this country, it is only us that can make the country move forward. If we don't know, the country is done. We will not expect Lebanese, American to come and develop or carry the country forward. Pertaining to your first conversation about Pepsi Yeke, I call it Coca-Cola Yeke. You're not going to be holding government property. Why? It's not a government official. But the constitution, when your regime is gone, you are gone. So he needs to do the utmost thing to turn government property over. You will not do this regime job behind. So you know that they don't want their property. But right, you need a year, you're telling you have finished, January 22nd. You should have just turned everything over. Even before January 22nd, you should have turned everything over.
Okay, sir.
Everything to go to government. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And let's be respectful of individuals, irrespective of whether or not we we do have a likeness or love for them. His name is Pepsi Yeke. To that caller, let's maintain the respect and mention his proper name to address the issue as well. 077771075 555101075. Before I take the next caller, let me welcome the boom breaker. Yeah. The 3-day Marine
Jackson.
as well as Honorable Samuel Jackson.
So Mary on the show again. You never joined the US Marine. Don't try.
I heard of Mr. Jackson. They didn't even last long in the Marine. So why you saying so Mary on the show? But Talu informed too. Yeah, so I see you trying to dismiss me.
So Mary on the show. You don't join. Don't put your mouth inside. You don't know the secret.
3-day married with a Mary.
No problem. That Marine with Isa.
So Stanton, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, baby. How you doing?
Yeah, my man. A lot of things happening today, oh.
Well, yeah, that's talk about it. That gave Diamond and Dwalu chance to finish talking their own. Then we'll come on and talk our own. A lot of stuff happening, you're right. A lot. Pepsi Yeke. Amara Corner confirming $40 million. You know, whose side we on? Who is on the Lord's side? I want to know. Who on the people's side? Who on the people's side? Because this is huge. Mr. Dwalu, it's always good to see you. But what Musa Benedict falling off for? Musa Benedict, what your problem? Musa Benedict say, thank you, Dwalu. He praising you. Dwalu, that your man?
You didn't have Musa ability? Nah, this is Musa ability.
I mean, it's that man, the man put A on his knee, but I leave that one. Man, the man take one picking picture and put it there and put A on his knee. Yeah, you don't know the game yet in this thing. That's why I like it. But it's always good that these guys don't follow us. The man say he let Dwalu. Dwalu, what's up? What's happening in your corner?
Well, my corner is great, man. You know, everything is fine. We just sunbathing, that's all.
Somebody sent me a text and said, my man, don't talk to Dwalu about bleaching. That's very high among our sisters there in all of Liberia. So if you talk about bleaching, they get offended. I said, hey, go. So when I say anything now, even when I'm joking with Dwalu, even if Dwalu bleach, that blackness will not change. Even you get all the Nigerian bleach, it will not change that more. So but the people don't get fed. They say, my man, don't talk to the man. I said, we will not even joke. We will not even laugh. What kind of country we have become? Sam Jackson, what kind of country is this? That you can't even look at your brother and your sister and just piece some 4 on there. And you know how we used to call it a P4 or you P4. Like, yeah, man.
The people tense. The people tense, man.
Tense.
Wow, tense. They're calling for a retreat. The retreat can't hold. They say in the retreat they won't remove Joseph Koji and they won't remove Thomas Fala and how you call the chairman name? What's the CDC chairman name? What's his name? Boba. Yeah, they won't remove all of them because they feel that they will not carry the party forward. And I say, are you serious? They say, yeah, they have to remove these guys because nobody would like to sit in front of Jefferson Koji to hear him talking all his own or put together words. And I say, man, that I don't know. But Jackson, that your party and your people, you think replacing them will be better?
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'm an MPP man. I'm part of the coalition.
Your man, I check on your man saying he won't be part of MPP no more. You heard that, right? Your man say he's not part of the MPP, not part of the coalition. So go ahead.
Who's that?
Yo, what's your man? I will find and send it to you. I think I put it in the chat room.
Where in the attorney George Mulba?
George, is that George? Let me find it first to be precise, though. Because if I find it first and be precise, then Glennie that just joining us, then she will get well with me. So let me be exact on this one. The man said he here for no MPP party business. He found his own story. But Mr. Jackson, on a serious note, why we get the folks to come along? Sister Glennie, how you doing? Hello, everybody.
Hello, my foster sister. How you doing?
I'm good.
Y'all waiting for me to come before you start coming on. I
Because
see you.
I just reached
coming
home.
on.
I just reached home.
So you can do nothing. You just reach me, my John on sponsor.
I got my coffee, and I'm ready.
So, but Dwadu, take us to where you and Damo was talking about, man.
No, but stay to feeling about the job mobile business now.
Let me find it and send it. Let me find it and send it to you. I won't be exact with what I say. I ain't forget. Look, I'm looking for it right now. Go ahead, Dwadu.
Well, there's not much. We were just talking about general stuff. You mentioned the Pepsi Yeke issue. You mentioned about people refusing to give back government property that does not belong to them. You mentioned about people not returning weapons that do not belong to them. And just little things across the country, man. Some of these confirmation, we talked about the confirmation on most of these appointees, well, nearly all of them, they all got appointed. I mean, all got confirmed, expected. This is normal practice. So we just try to cover bases across the country and see what's happening. But overall, man, Liberia is Liberia. Not much has changed. Everything is the same. Everybody's driving with high beam on. Everybody has a siren across the country. Everybody drives in the opposite lane, especially if you have a big car, government vehicle. And I want to say this to the transport ministry, though. When people get your money, you're going to get in their sticker. You don't tell the system down. Put people stop people all around the city. Send on. I give it to you.
But Dwadu, though, you know, I heard you before on this show. You spoke about that kind of change. You know, saying it's wrong. That already saying hello. You know, you say that change is wrong. It's not good. And you know, we got to change. But I know you're not taking side yet. It will come a time for you to be very, very straight out and truthful. So you're that 60% truthful. Well, come on now, Dwadu. The people say taking third lane and fourth invisible lane. Are you still seeing that in Liberia?
Let me tell you this. I just drove to Omega, right? So every evening between 7, let's say between 6 and 8 o'clock, there is at least 12 lanes. I am not exaggerating. So the traffic that's coming from in-town way, coming from red light, and the one coming from Kakata, by the time they get to Omega, everything stops. And then the people coming from Kakata will take all the lanes, and the people coming from in-town will take all the lanes, so you cannot go and you cannot come. So everybody's stuck. This is normal. And the road is blocked. You have these massive trucks, and everybody has high beam on. The police officer over there cannot control that traffic because they're not just enough to control what's happening. And the pimping boys themselves, they begin to not care. Any way you turn it, man, we're chunking inside. So just driving is just one of those chaotic operations, but it's Liberia. And the thing is, we say that, not that we accept it, but I think we are actually responsible for this because we refuse to do anything about it. We just accept that this is normal, but it is not normal.
Okay, so we'll call the newly appointed transport minister, actually, Salif. We all know him. Some of you know him. I tried to know him, but he refused to pick up my call. And, I know he's the brother to Alex Tyler, Senator Alex Tyler brother, the newly appointed transport minister. We try to bring him on the show to see whether we know him. I really want to ask him whether he know me. So, Mr. Jackson, I sent you the communication. It was from one Mr. Moba.
No, it came from, I think, Alison Bako. And Alison Bako.
I sent it in the group chat. No, just look at what I sent you, please.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it. Oh, somebody, the writing George Moba, who is the chairman, Alison Bako. He's the vice chairman for Governance Affairs MPP.
Exactly. That's why I said I want to be straight up.
Yeah. So basically, he's saying that I present my compliments and here will resign from the Coalition for Democratic Change as an individual and concomitantly reject my appointment as chairman for the inter-party committee for the retreat that the coalition is planning. Yeah. So he say he now won't be part of the coalition. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one of the people then down already. 3 more to go.
So the how Liberia looking. Anytime new government come in, there's the what they call realignment.
Exactly.
Everybody going different way, you know.
Your boss Siri Allen was saying the same thing. He's on the recording
No,
saying
Siri
the
Allen,
same thing.
he said the same thing. Siri Allen said, "You're gonna leave Joe Barker alone. No point
That
coming from
almost
America
no.
looking for
Listen to
jobs."
the entire clip. Siri Allen
I listened to it.
He made mention
He
of the
myself
same
talking about
thing.
it, but let me tell you. Stevie Allen said, "Don't put a come from America, especially those that were in the Unity Party government that stole plenty of money and went to America or Europe or different countries and squandered their money, sent their children to private school, did all those things that were their money. They did not invest their money. The money finished now. They want to come back to Liberia and they want to muscle out the young Unity partisans who were in the ring, who were in the mud, who were in the toilet, who were in the different rural areas. They say they must leave Joe Barker alone, let Joe Barker form his government." And I can tell you, what I've been getting from people that went, some of the people that went to Liberia and some of the people that are on the ground, is like it's like almost like a toxic environment for the job business, you know? And Stanton, Liberian people got to do something about it. Because look, let me tell you something. The jobs don't pay. It is the contract that the government put out. The government spending at $700 million a year. You don't have enough brains to put together some kind of company to lease something to the government, sell something to the government, go and muscle out people like
So hold
BMC.
on 1 minute, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, I beg you. I think this is the newly appointed transport minister. I just want to confirm what I know him. Excuse me, sir. Do I know you?
I just know you from Spoon Network, but we haven't met in person. I don't know you from anywhere.
Mr. Jackson, yeah, I know the man, but I didn't even know how I got his number. Somebody just sent it to me.
But Stanton, you take yourself to beef. You're not for cha-cha in Liberia.
Man, I talk to you,
Everybody's
man.
scared of you.
After your confirmation,
Everybody's
you'll
scared of
come
you.
on.
Yeah.
No, man. Now, Dwalum pushing me. I said, I know the man. Dwalum said, I know the man. So I had to call him.
Before confirmation, why it has to be after confirmation?
Say that?
Why does it have to be after confirmation?
No, my man. You were kind of, oh, did I say that, my man? Oh, I made a mistake. Oh.
So your meaning can only come after confirmation.
All right,
That is sitting that made I need to mention your name. And I see the mention I didn't talk about you today.
Don't put me.
What
Don't put me in situation.
I didn't say send them myself suggesting to the government.
Dwalu, that my papi, I'm worried about him. Dwalu, listen, don't put me in situation. Now you made me to say that I know the man. I was saying I didn't know him.
I didn't say anything. That's not the first thing. I mean, she just came to the show. How you doing that?
Oh, Dwalu, you put me in situation.
No LEC. LEC just keep giving her Huawei.
Jesus.
LEC,
let me say something. No, let me say something, Dwalu. It's very bad for. We got to talk to Money Captain. John, we at the end of John Weir's term. LEC was beautiful. They were doing fine. At least 12 hours or so. I think Money Captain tried to support this government. With a flickering LDC. No. Because then we start questioning some of the documents we're receiving. And because how can the government in 2 weeks, Money Captain doing the LDC the Christmas light? It only come for 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours, the max. Money Captain and how you call it, Mirror Bro, then we got to start asking them questions. You cannot be making $250,000 in consultant fees, and then you are not giving the people the LDCs. And you got to put all the C's to it. Look at Painesville, look at Gunnersville, look at all over.
Must you talk about that $250,000 consultant fee that we talked about?
Because if you're making $250,000 consultant fee, then you must give Dwalu his LDC. Look at Dwalu getting DACA every day. Every time we come on the show. The LDC. No, to be frank, this one, it's not data business. The people deserve, because can you tell us, Dwalu, that not that you're not paying for your electricity though? You paying, right?
Yeah, of course.
But they're not giving it to you.
Nope. Hey, look, even the DSTV, for example, right? So what I would do is you pay for 1 month. LEC goes for 3 days. They don't add the extra 3 days to your account. Once the 1 month is over, it's over. So either 1 month you might watch TV, maybe 10 days out of the 1 month because LEC is going the whole time. Another thing, the LEC, you're going to start paying for our food. All the food gets spoiled.
Yeah.
Then who will be paying for our food then?
No, but I beg you, don't go to DSTV. Yeah, we'll talk to Freeman later. Let's stick with LDC. You pay your LDC, Glendy.
Yeah.
You pay for 1 week. They gave you services for only 2 days. What happened with the balance money?
They walk in.
That's a lawsuit. Somebody got to sue LDC.
Right.
We should have a class action lawsuit against LDC. This is wrong.
When you put the money on LEC, it's an account. So when LEC is on, that money is utilized. But when LEC is not on, the money stays on. So you don't lose.
Now you decide to correct it. You just said it.
DSTV.
When you bringing DSTV with LEC together, how you keep the people mind focused? You bringing DSTV and LEC together again?
So LEC saves the money for you until the light come back on. Is that how?
So if you let's say you pull $100 on your LEC account. Every time the light comes on, when you use the electricity, let's say you use $5, $95 will stay on your account. So even if there is no LEC, the $95 stays there.
So it's not an argument about not eating your money. The argument that they are not giving you the services on time.
That's correct. And it's darkening my skin.
Yeah, man. I'm concerned though.
Stanton.
Yes, sir.
Give me a couple of minutes on LEC. I did my master's program.
Pape, we're not going to give you a couple of minutes. At 30 seconds, we got to go, Pape. Today, that LEC conversation.
So Stanton, this whole LEC that the biggest tabata Liberia has ever seen, the people gave us $357 million.
Yeah.
Plus the EU, the Japanese, and other people, they gave us like another $400-500 million. It's almost $1 billion.
Yeah.
To produce only 88 megawatt of electricity. And that is at the height of the rainy season. During the dry season, it's a technical failure. This is the same Unity Party government that came back to power. They got the MCC money, $357 million, gave you 88 megawatt. Since the post-war dispensation at 18 years, there's no strategic plan for energy independence. They're going to do something stupid like they say they're going to do West African.
Let me interrupt you, Mr. Jackson.
I beg you.
Real quick, yeah.
I beg you, Stanton. They go in their mind, they go buy electricity from La Côte d'Ivoire. When you buy electricity from La Côte d'Ivoire, there's something in the economic called current account. The money going out to the independent power producers in La Côte d'Ivoire. They're using the money for reinvestment to expand electricity capacity in their country. We don't have current a policy for energy independence for Liberia. And the reason why is that so very people involved in the process, they don't want to bring in real experts to sit down and do it.
I disagree with you, Mr. Jackson. I disagree with you. Mr. Jackson, let me ask Mr. Jackson, let me ask. I get right to disagree with you. You can tell me say I can't. You can first, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Jackson, and Mr. Jackson, you can say it anyway, but I have all right to disagree with you and allow me to disagree with you.
Okay, go ahead. Let me hear you.
In your government, you got players from your government that chop the LDC resources.
What was the thing after see people there too?
But can you hold on now?
Oh.
But you tell let me tell my own now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Let me fair. Your government stole from the LDC, stole a lot of money. Senator them today. They have created their own company, and I will share the document with you. Promising to bring in investors from Ivory Coast. When they knew hell well, they never had the capacity to solve this LDC issue. We are talking about right now the extension of some of the contracts. $25 million extension for 15 years right now. Every year they got to get $25 million. Let's look at the Nima region. Let's look at the southwestern part of the country. Guess what happened? Don't let me start calling names on the show. People that enjoy honor money captain, and they are currently backing Joseph Yima Boakai to keep money captain and the current staff in place.
Okay.
So the question remains, and we'll ask the Liberian people, have money captain performed? Should he stay or should he go? Okay. We got the names. It's not about the past unity party, Mr. Jackson. It's about what you brought in and what was created by some of your ministers, some of them that have turned senators. The special interest contract, the document receiving. How can one person receive 250,000 United States dollars, making the amount of $1,225, but doing nothing, not even in the country?
Okay, so
no. It's not the LDC conversation we're going on. Let's go to our conversation for today. Mr. Johnson, I'll give you another 10 minutes. We got to hear from the other people.
No,
when we get to LDC, I'll tell you guys. Do you know how much money Captain and the rest of the guys they're making? Personally, do you know how much the benefits are? Do you know who all have self-interest company attached to LDC?
Okay.
Should we name them from Nima coming down to Monrovia?
Great. So let me respond.
The people not getting current, but they're still making millions of dollars.
Okay, so let me respond.
Go ahead, sir.
Liberia is a very corrupt place, one of the most corrupt places on the planet. Okay, I told you the genesis of the problem is the almost 700 to $1 billion that was spent just to give us 88 megawatt. I'm not going to cast aspersion on the stewardship of money captain. I know he has a difficult role to play. What I'm saying is there is not an integrated, long-term strategic energy plan for the country of Liberia. And my government also dropped the ball. I'll be very frank with you. You think I'm going to sit here and look at something that they did that is not in the interest of the country in terms of energy and come to back them? Back them for what? I ate their money. I ate some of the money that they were eating. I would never back them for that.
You signed some of the consultant contract with them. Your name is on the paper I'm about to share. You had a consultant contract. You, Samuel Jackson. You, Samuel Jackson, had a consultant contract. You know exactly what you're talking about. Let's go down in history, Samuel Jackson.
No, not what they're going. Please.
Come on, man. Let's have the show, Samuel Jackson.
If you show me a contract
when you were here and Samuel Toy said they gave me LDC to Ivory Coast, what did you say, Jack?
No.
You were there celebrating Samuel Toy foolishness when they were stealing from LDC Comfort. You were trying to use that. You were trying to use that to gain political relevance for the people to vote for you. When you knew that Samuel Toy was lying like a bitter goat. You didn't say anything.
So stay on.
That always gets so. That always gets so.
Listen, my brother. My own mouth, the go places. If I supporting a government and with their election, I cannot go ahead and upset the apple cart by putting my personal opinions out there. Okay.
So because our election.
No, but listen to me. Stand on.
But start calling my name, Not talk. Stand on. Start calling my name, talk.
My master's consultancy, which is the thing that in my brain that gives the recommendation on what to do about electricity access and penetration in Liberia, and the comprehensive is on paper. It's an LSE. I can send it to anybody. You want me to send it? Put it in the chat room there.
Mr. Johnson, today I will not talk anything about credential. If it's to LSC, let it be there. I won't see it.
No, but I want to show you
NSC, I won't see it. Let's welcome. I ask you an easy question. Let's bring back as a do. I asked you an easy question. Everybody heard my question. When you were in power and Senator were lying on clip, saying that he's sending LDC to Ivory Coast, what did you do? What did you say, Mr. Jackson? What did you say? Mr. Jackson, what did you say? What did you say?
Anything in an election year.
So that means that you were in support. you were in support of Samuel lies just to win another election. Is that correct?
But Samuel did not lie.
Oh, you are supplying LEC?
Samuel
So it's
said
true.
to you, this is what Samuel said to you. Samuel said that we produce excess electricity at one time at the peak of the production of the hydro dam. Because the West African power pool, you pool electricity together. So
that's not after time, man. That's why they put it in Bolivia in the video. Now now you want to explain, Mr. Jackson? After all this time, you use that as a political game.
But I can tell you what Samuel said, because
you're not a mouthpiece, but you're being paid as an outside consultant to the Minister of Finance.
That you stand there, when start to say Liberia selling according to articles, and they don't see.
That all say that all unclear. Mr. Dwalu, let's bring you back. Dr. Richardson
did not say that. He never
Dr.
said
Richardson,
that.
let's bring you back. Who's that? Mr. Jackson, brother. I said, don't let bring you back. Dwalu, let's leave the LEC thing. It's just it would not be looking good for the past government. Okay? This LEC thing, because of Samuel failure to address the issue, because of the involvement of Money Captain, that he's not. I respect Money Captain. I love to do, but I will say this to you: Money Captain got to address this thing. The people are suffering, Glendy. Money Captain have to address this thing. That's what we are talking about: recycling politicians. Money Captain is a politician. Take it or leave it. I can tell the Liberian people the more how much Money Captain make. I can tell the Liberian people the more how much all the consultants that Money Captain have brought in, how much they're making. I can tell the Liberian people the more how many companies that have been created are fake companies, and they are getting and reaping from LDC, while the Liberian people are sleeping in darkness and they are suffering. Glenny, let's have your intro. Let's leave the paper alone, man. You don't get me started here tonight. I missed my show yesterday, though. Glenny, let go.
So that we don't come in somewhere for yesterday leaving. I swear. My hair already hurting me. Hello, everybody. Well, looking forward to a great show today. What do I have for opening? Nothing much. Watched off and on some of the confirmations today. It was interesting to hear them voting. Even though it was like anonymous, everybody was except for one vote, the vote for A.B. Kromah. I heard that Senator McGill abstained from the vote of A.B. Kromah, but the rest of everybody voted for Gregory Coleman, Gay, and Kromah, and also the education minister. So we'll be looking forward to seeing what they're doing today. We also, I'm sure there will be highlights of Amar Conant's information today concerning the money, and here to see what's up for the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Minister Doe.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And let me say hi to everyone, to our listeners as well. It's good being here another day. It's always a pleasure discussing things about our country and how we go forward. It's always good to be with all of you guys as well. A lot of things going on in the country, and I'm looking forward to having all of those discussions here. We are talking about letters coming out, information, those being confirmed. Congratulations to all of you. I know you were talking about the LDC. If I could just check in very quickly to say, I think it is debatable, that's okay, but the real fact is that the CDC-led government, turning ahead, going back to that, has actually improved the electricity capacity of the country. I know when we came in, we met $9 million on books as debt for LEC. That was paid. I know when we came in, we had 35 cents per kilowatt. That was reduced to 21 cents per kilowatt. I know when we came in, we had about 35,000 households being connected to LEC. Before we left 144,000 households being connected to LEC. And there have been many, changes, upgrades that have happened across the place.
Stater, I think I have to get ready recitation down going forward. Because you comes with these recitations.
So, Eduardo, you did this yesterday. Don't do this to me again.
Eduardo, let the brother speak. I beg you. He deserve his time. He deserve his
I'm
time,
not
please,
sure
brother.
what you think. It's only you that knows everything. Don't do this to me
When
again,
have I ever
brother.
told you I know everything?
Because I can never
Do you
end.
feel
That-
less
that-
than?
Don't you know
No,
what
you
you
can't
think
feel
about
less than a
CDC?
man. I can't help you, my brother. I don't never tell you I know everything.
You always
No,
did
you
this
come with
yesterday.
all these recitations.
And so what?
They are
That's what
recitations.
But Dwalu, let me fair. Dwalu, let the brother speak. Dwalu,
When you're talking about how Baka is the
Dwalu.
best person on earth, I can be here quiet.
Okay, be
Allow
quiet.
me to
But the
have my
recitation
thing.
is irritating. That's what I'm telling
You
you.
then can leave. I mean, I'm telling you what my government did based on the discussion.
But like every day you repeat the CD.
I did not talk about LEC
Yesterday,
yesterday.
yeah, you thought we repeat the CD again, my man. You get very
But Dwalu ain't elemental.
But it is only
Dwalu ain't elemental.
when you keep doing this.
Dwalu, you cannot interrupt the man at his time.
Go ahead.
When you hear you talk about how you be the best, this, that CDC works, I can listen to you. Why you can't allow me to say mine? Please, man. So as I was saying again, the CDC level 144,000 households being connected, and that actually is connected to about 800,000 people. And all of us can agree that within the last 6 years, the issue of LEC has been improved. Although challenges were there, now it is time for rescue. The CDC has left, now rescue is there. Before George Weah left, we had 18 hours of quarantine per day. Now we are having 6, maximum 7 hours per day. And I think we need to focus on what's at hand now than what has happened before, because that time has already passed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dr. Richardson?
Looking forward to a great show. I had a question about Isaac's number of LEC. I just checked that. As of January 12, 2022, Liberia owed Ivory Coast 9 million. I was just wondering if that was the 9 million that he was talking about. Did we pay that or not? That's what it says in the paper. I was in the middle of checking that. But I'm interested in learning more today about, the happiness in Liberia. My concern is also about LEC. I wonder if they have a vision, like something like that. Mr. Jackson said, a vision for Liberia. I would like to see that vision. How can it utilize solar system, a windmill system into providing energy for Liberia? I know that's very trendy or updated for Liberia. And also, do they have a timeline in terms of implementing some of these resolutions to bring energy to Liberia, electricity to Liberia?
Thank you very much. Eduardo, you want to come in and say?
Yeah, I want to come in. Look, I'm going to say this. Liberian people, let me tell you this. When CDC came to power, not a single megawatt of power was produced.
Now you're
by
going
the
to CDC now. Now you're going out to CDC.
But I say, little bit. I say.
Don't do that.
I say you have made your point. I say you have made your point. You have made your point.
It is not recitation now. But when I come to tell you what CDC did, and then you rudely interrupt.
I say you made your point. You made your point.
No, I had to do it because of what you did.
Cool. So you don't pay
now CDC do nothing now.
Okay, put there, you win. Let me talk about own. Stand on.
That's what
CDC did not build a single megawatt of power. Every single power that was being distributed was initially being distributed, and CDC just came and carried on. Not a single light bulb that CDC brought into this country, a single megawatt was not brought by CDC. So the recitation is not going to help. Look, let's get back to what is at hand here. We understand under the previous administration, everybody knew about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf made some mistakes when it came to the issue of the dam that was built. That money was I think it was the most expensive dam ever built in the world. That's what we spent on our old rotting plate, like giving us 88 megawatts of power. This was crazy. You look, Stanton, we need power in this country if this country is going to grow. This current administration, if we do not put a lot of money into the creation of serious, at least 500 megawatts of power, so this country can grow, we're not going to industrialize, or we're going to create the kind of jobs that we're looking for. I don't care how much recitations we gave. There are real people. Look, come to your country. St. Johnson here, Stanton. Can't see the way the country looking. These boys said this country is so far behind. It's like we're going back to cranking a vehicle to start it. The how like real looking right now. Stanton, I'll give it back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Your intro.
Okay, first of all, Okay, look, I mean, I'm really enjoying myself on Spoon TV. My inbox is flooded with a lot of pretty women from all over the world, Liberians, trying
You
to
can't
get to
get
know
any of
What's
me.
your
them.
webcam? Where your
You will
webcam?
stay with your Barbie doll. You can't get any of them. Stay with Barbie doll.
So let me
You
finish
guys
now.
don't.
I'm just telling you now. So when I came, we had some initial 4 stars. I was arguing with some people, but now we like a family. Even my lovely Francine calling me Uncle Sam. I found out that Glendy Pa and myself, Omen Bayoga Jr., that my buddy. Then I found out that Ase Doe and myself were related through all kind of different things, and Dwalo myself were in this were in the same fighting force. And then of course Stanton and my buddy. So we enjoyed ourselves. But listen, Liberia is the common denominator, guys. We all have to get serious about this country called Liberia. We got so much potential, Stanton. And Spoon is the platform that has been the platform that gave the voice to the people of this country. We all disagree here, but we disagree in a very courteous way. We're not fighting a war. We're not damaging each other's character. We just disagree. But I can tell you on the situation with LEC, there's a higher electricity access in Liberia today because of the CDC government. Okay, 144,000 homes are connected to the grid. When Ellen left in 2017, there was only 10% of the population in the electricity grid. Now it's significantly higher than that. The LEC rate was 56 cents per kilowatt hour under the Unity Party government. Today is right about what I say about 35 cents per
21 cents.
kilowatt hour. Okay, and the number of hours that LEC used to be available in the day, because I lived in Monrovia for the last 3 years, I was getting 16 and 18 hours of power every day. And we're only getting, I said, by the time our government left, LEC just started to cave in. Okay, so Dwalo, I know you want to say that the country is so bad, it gone back into the Middle Ages. That's not true. Look
Can
at,
you give me 2 seconds after Mr. Jackson?
let me finish. Look at Tottenham Boulevard. Look at Tottenham Boulevard. Tottenham Boulevard look like Omada Rodeo Drive. Look at Marshall. Look at the fancy homes in Marshall. Look at
That CDC building homes. That CDC building homes.
No.
That CDC building homes. The people can't build that. Why you giving them the CDC?
But Granny, that's Simon Clock down.
The government gets credit for creating the enabling environment. Look at the number of dispensaries. The number of dispensaries that are going to Liberia now are more than the dispensaries that ever Liberians from the diaspora that ever been going in any time in our history. And the Liberians are investing. People like Dwalo, you invested in Liberia? You invested in Liberia? Stanton invested in Liberia during the CDC government.
No. Tell me for your investment business. Tell me for your investment business.
The media empire was built during the CDC government.
It's not for me. Tell me from there.
A media empire. Okay? So to say that the country looked like everything chakla, everything will go back to the Middle Ages, that's politics, Dwalo. Look at Boulevard Hotel. Look at Boulevard Hotel. Look at the Invisible Park. Look at the PHP Park. Look at the number of vehicles in the country. Look at the number of doctors. Look at the number of engineers. Look at the civility in the country of Liberia. You can go eat any kind of food in any restaurant in Liberia there. All kind of culinaries. You can tell me, say Liberia is they're going backward?
So we want to say thank you. We're going to go to Mr. Dwalu and Glennie, who want to respond to you. Then we'll take the cycle. Dwalu?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad that Honorable my senior man here, Samuel Jackson, is a developmental economist. So I was speaking in those terms that he understands better. I'm going to say this. He's talking about homes in Marshall. Oh, Sam Jackson, please come back on the show. Let's talk economics a little bit. Please, I'm begging you.
What did he go?
You listening?
You listening?
Development
I
is
went
not.
to take a shot.
Okay, go take a shot. Go take a shot because I want you to hear this, Sam Jackson. When you are building an institution, okay, when government institutions are being built, there is a progression of that institution when it comes to the developmental aspect of it. When Ellen began the electrification of Liberia, it's not going to churn as quickly in the beginning as it was being done under President Weah. Every single platform that brought electricity to this country was built initially by UP. The distribution was happening. When you build your own personal home, that does not constitute development. Let me tell you what development is. Development is infrastructure, road connection. That's development. Development is something that improves the life and the standard of living in that country. You're a developmental economist. I know you understand this. Development is if I can connect to the grid, and that grid can improve my thinking, improve my community, that's development. Private sector is just a fallback position. When you build your own private homes, that means the development is actually happening. But what spawned that development is the infrastructure that support that. Developmental economists understand this. Look, I built my home here in Liberia, but the money that I built that home with does not come from Liberia. It does not constitute the kind of development you're thinking about. Now, when the foreign investors come in or Liberians from abroad come in and invest into the country, you cannot count that because Liberia is not producing that to the extent that we should produce that. We have no middle class, Samuel Jackson. Your book explained it so eloquently. I don't know why you're going against your own book, and you taught me that. You read it in your head of a book. It's this big. I think I read it 3 or 4 times. And then again, you tell me, say, somebody built PHP Park. How does that correlate with development? How does that correlate with somebody in Babu can't get in a job? Glennie, I'm gonna have you take this thing home.
So I'm just gonna say briefly when you talk about
Let me find out page that you're talking to. I'm sorry, I'm going.
When you're talking about development, you want to just something short, you want to see how the country developed to the point that it flourished its citizens' lives. That's simple. If you can look back and see that the people prior to George Weah time were richer or poorer, and now they are richer, then you can say that's a development. But the people now after George Weah time, they're poorer. The people that are in school, they're less. The drugs is higher. So how is it the developments that we keep talking around and playing around? I like Sam. The man is a strategist. He's not going to tell us what the truth is. He knows what the truth is, but he has to save face while he's on here. You're talking about development. What development has George Weah done? You're talking about people going home and attributing it to George Weah. So why didn't they go home when he was there? People was even afraid to go home. We're doing George Weah's era. So how can we attribute what is happening now that people are going home in droves and people are finally seeing the, freedom lifted and they have a right to breathe and want to go home and develop their country? It cannot be attributed to George Weah. We can only attribute development if the lives of the people got better. And based on what we see, it has not gotten better. So there's no development we're going to give credit to George Weah for. Zero.
Okay, so let's bring in Asa though. Asa, you want to add before we go to Dr. Richardson? You will come in, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, sure. People are always entitled to political opinions, but the facts are always somewhat. And I'll always go back to the reality. That's why we are here to provide the necessary checkpoints. Let's get this, CEO, in time past. These are information that there's a radio station. You can send your people on the field to verify, not just what we say, but you to verify too as a media platform. WAEC, for instance, had a passing rate of 47%.
No, we're talking about LDC going to WAEC again.
No.
No, don't move the goalpost. No, we can't do this. No, we can't do this. Stick with LDC, my man. We can jump around.
LDC, I will come back to my same point. So, CEO, somebody said CDC did not bring any power source at the same power source. The CLSG line, someone remember, was brought in this country by CDC. That was an additional power source to the McCoffey plant. In addition to that, if you were to go to LOFA, Mr. Parker, please come in. There is additional dam being built by the CDC government. In addition to that, big corridor of Buchanan, you will see an additional power grid being planted by the CDC government. All of these were in addition to the McCoffey plant. So the facts are there on the books, different from political opinions. It's okay to come and talk how the government, the country is getting by a West, fine. But the reality on the books are things you can see with your eyes. Just drive and go to Buchanan. You will see it right there. It's not in Haiti. Leave from Buchanan, go to Lofa. You will see with your own eyes. It's not in Haiti. So these are real facts, and we should.
And this is from the cluster, the most recent cluster that was done. Dr. Richardson, Mr. Jackson, and everyone that watching. Liberia is honor George Manawia when he was leaving to go to Europe and talk to the birds and the pigeons. This is why he stayed. No, when the president was leaving to go talk to pigeons in Europe, Liberia installed generation capacity consists as follows. Mancofe hydropower plant, 88 megawatts. Bushra Island, total domestic generation capacity, additional Liberia import, 35 megawatts of electricity from Cote d'Ivoire as follows. Cross-border import, CLSG import, your local Edo, we get all the document. We'll share with you. So we are importing. Now, what I want to bring you guys mind to when this man said everything was so easy because Duadu saying that I'm sleeping in darkness, it come on only 4 hours. Why would you put this on a government that is just for 2 weeks? This thing was all dumb and messed up under your government for 6 years.
But you just posted the thing.
Okay. I'm just posted it. I want the people to see. I want to be fair. And let's go through the recommendations. But I thought you say you don't want. I thought you say you don't want Duadu to interrupt you. But you interrupted me though. But you laughed me again. But you interrupted me though. I know you're doing this. You can do this intentionally because you don't want me to go into the real juice of the conversation. So let me bring Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson, go ahead.
Well, I just have a few comments. The first thing is Monrovia is not Liberia. Like Cinco can have a lot of electricity, but just go outside of Monrovia. There's a lot of places that do not have electricity. Somebody just told me the whole of Virginia going onwards is dark. The second thing I have to say is who made the negotiations for all of the light that CDC is bragging about right now? Did they do it or was it done in the previous government? That's the next question that I have. And lastly, did CDC and can somebody tell us, can they please present a plan to us? What's the vision for the electricity problems in Liberia? That I never saw it. And did it work according, did they implement that vision? Is the vision is what they're saying now in the country that they leave that vision for the Unity Party? I know that Liberia paid one of the highest price for electricity in the world.
This is not our conversation for today, but we just appreciate the fact that we can talk about it. So let me share the cluster report on the energy, which have LDC, LPRC, landmines, and NOCAL, and all of them. For you to get into it and see the mess, Duadu, Jose Yema Bwaga, and Unity Party just walk directly into the bullets when you talk about LDC. Yeah. Make no mistake, it was all game. Have you guys heard about the company called LIB Energy? I want somebody to go research LIB Energy. See the amount of money. You know who own it?
No own it?
I want somebody to think the way in which the people exploiting our Liberian people. No, we're not in the LDC conversation. Don't give these guys any weapon to come up with a tabata, talking about job money we are left or LDC to the capacity that we can get Ivory Coast current. No, that's nonsense. That's foolishness. There's a man in Europe catching pigeon and speaking of pigeon, and we here talking about your did better when it came to LDC. No, you didn't, Sam Jackson. Who own LIB or how you call it, LIB Energy? How much money are they getting for doing nothing? Zero. My pa used to say, Fakaki. Who own it? I'm not crossing, but what he used to say. He left that with me. All right? Who own it? Who own the LIB Energy? That is now run by Quality Group.
Quality Group?
Oh, I will share this information with you.
Of the ownership of that company.
And let's be serious. Look at the other group because they couldn't do the work. You know what they did? These people couldn't do the work. They went for the group called Abado, ABADO, from Ivory Coast. And they begged Abado to come to help them. Yet instead, Abado came and collected $20 million. As reported, our sources sent to us, zero. They came back again and extended the contract for another 15 years.
Yes.
Why do people stay sleeping in darkness? You don't make us. No. Don't talk to them, Sam Jackson. Don't talk to them.
PVCC. Also PVCC. That was
done. PVCC. Yes, don't talk to them, Sam Jackson. Don't make them to call you. Tell them to come on the show.
I want a contract.
We know these things.
I want a contract.
Wait, stay on. Let me.
You laughing? You laughing? You're bad, Pape. You're very bad. They think you're dead to Liberia, right? If you don't repent, all of you will go to hell. They think you're dead to Liberia. If you don't repent, no, don't interrupt me. I said, let me say this one truthfully. If Joia in CDC don't go to the church and they repent, all of them will go to hell because of what they did to Liberia. It's very bad.
You're allowed to respond.
You can respond to your business.
Please pull back the stuff you posted first. Please pull back.
I don't know which one you want to. You decide which one you want to.
Let me come in quick. Then I give it to my pap to come in. See, you just place on here something that tells you the CDC government added about 73 megawatts to United Party's 88. Yet and still, you have not said. You just posted it right here. When United Party was there, we had about 88 megawatt of power being distributed. When
you want me to put it back up? You want me to put it back up? Okay. Let's see. I say I'm a fair man. I'll put it back up.
Put it back up.
Unless your CDC, you don't do it. Let me do it for you.
Yeah, do it for us. You good. See, my coffee hydro plant, the United Party, 88 megawatt. From there, we come to CDC. Push road, 38.
That was
Cross border, 8. CLSG import, 27. Before George Weah left, we have 161 megawatt of power being distributed across Liberia. Now, please take it down. Now, you have seen it, just please take it down. So, after you have seen this, CEO, you are still saying the CDC government did not do anything. I know one of my brothers here was saying when the 8 and the 27 CDC brought, but inclusive of the 38. It is because, yes, the United Power started. It did not go anywhere till the CDC government came in. That's the reason why we had about $9 million debt on the books. And like I've always said, people can have their time with politics and take Liberia everything they can. The reality are there. You just posted this right here, and the facts have been shown. So, you can ask all your questions you want to ask.
Jackson, when we're to discuss LDC, I can assure you.
Okay, let's go to
when we're to discuss LDC, you will see it. Mr. Jackson, close this one for us.
Okay, so I will correct my brother. The 88 megawatt was Ellingen. And then the Bushra plant.
Don't just say brother. Which one of your brother you correcting?
No, it's correct.
Let people hear which brother you correcting.
My CDC brother.
Derek, thank you.
Okay,
continue.
Yes.
Continue.
But CDC brought in an additional almost like 30 megawatts, right? Which increased electricity capacity to 161 megawatts. And the most important thing is the electricity penetration, the percentage of the population with access to electricity. 144,000 homes were put on the grid. That's LEC. Now let me tell you about the improvements in the socio-economic condition. You call me a development economist. So let me tell you. Let's look at the matrix in which we measure progress. The most important thing in progress is what? Longevity, right? Liberia has the highest life expectancy of any country in the Minor River Union. You aware of that?
I mean, we're not talking about life expectancy. Papa, let's go in our conversation now. The problem here is that when but Dwadu don't fall for that. Dwadu don't fall for it. When we attacking them on one place, then they bring about YFE. We attacking them, they bring about life expectancy. No. The things you guys used to do, Mr. Jackson, you would do it no more, right? The things I used to do, I do it no more. because it's a new
Why
day.
you obstructing me for?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
talking, man.
no,
I'm
Mr.
talking.
Jackson, we gotta go. Mr. Jackson, we gotta go. There's a new day. No, yeah, I will interrupt you. No, you will not talk. We'll not talk. We can't talk about LDC. You're bringing YS school fee. We talk about LDC. You talking about the debt or what? The invisible part, Joria bill. We talking about LDC. You're talking about you're talking about in Africa Union, Liberia, Who care about Africa Union, Liberia, West? Let's talk about the issue of LDC. Man River, Africa, whatever it is. What they have to do with our conversation?
It's not a free platform now.
Let me announce this. Like today, the CEO Money Captain, I'm receiving information. There was a big meeting that the building are kneel down. Let me say this, folks. When the guys there, please. When the guys there continue to go to the current president and talk about this issue, then we'll be forced now to intervene and say, let these people, go there and see. Let the press people go there and see and report. It shouldn't be done in Jade, because that's exactly what they did to George Manuel when they created these fake companies. Who's selling current in Nimba? Who's selling current in the southeastern part of the country? Who's selling current in Lofa? Who said, my man, you said, I beg you. We got them, Papi. Let's do the LDC thing. The thing that come to put some people in trouble that while they're joking with. The thing that some of your senators then setting on and they're ripping. And ask Dwalo, he will tell you. He will tell you this. It's not a joke. But again, we shall move on because we have to respect our time. It's 10:06 in Liberia. If I was say here Eastern time, New York time, we want to say welcome to the Spoon Talk. Thank you for accepting our Tabata and our free talk. And like Dwalu, that we gave her a few more minutes because I stay saying sitting. I don't know. Somebody said, Dwalu, say you want to Liberia, you just talking. But when you're here, you couldn't talk like that. I don't know what that means, brother. I'm just giving you the message. But it's good that you're talking.
They will say, you're here, America, you're talking about you Liberia. So I can talk, we can talk. This is Liberia. At the end of the day, anybody like it, Jacko. But at the end of the day, we'll talk Liberia. We have not spoken.
But so this is where we are. Today, the report came that Pepsi Yeke, they're going to arrest him. They're looking for him because he is carrying a firearm. I want us to discuss that Liberians were eager to hear from the EPS director, Sam Gay. This came out today. And folks, bear with us. It's all over on social media. The director of the Executive Protection Service, EPS, has declared Yeke Kwewu, aka Pepsi Yeke, wanted for the illegal possession of EPS weapon with the following specification: 97344 serial number, making number 73, weapon type Noriko 22 pistol. And the law enforcement officer that comes in contact, he said, any with Pepsi Yeke should have him immediately detained and then contact the Executive Protection Service, EPS. Yeke is considered armed and dangerous. This is not a joke. We need to discuss this. So what did I do? I called the Executive Protection Service Director, Sam Gay. And we understand there was a letter sent to Pepsi Yeke requesting, like every one of them, that they should return, bring back the weapons they have in their possession. And Pepsi Yeke refused. And seriously, and Pepsi Yeke refused. I am directly quoting because he told me to say it from the EPS director, Sam Gay. And based on that, this letter, if you follow me on Facebook, you are interrupting the show. Please don't. Whoever Isaac is, it means that I have to block. But again, this is the situation. Mr. Gualu is on the same page newspaper. Let's put the newspaper up very quick. I want you to talk to us. I want you to help us understand what's going on, Mr. Gualu.
Well, Stanton, I'm going to say this to you. Pepsi should know the order or the protocol required to carry guns in this country. If you, like I said initially when we began the show, when you no longer have that statutory mandate, you have to return the weapon. Nobody should run behind you for the weapon. We read out Pepsi's response to Director Gay. He believes he should not be spoken to or directed in any way, shape, or form. And the arrogance remains with the likes of Pepsi because it has some power. Look, I said this, and CDC administration were issuing guns to anybody who was close to President Weir. They just had guns all over the place. Look, I'm gonna. This will be my last comment. I gotta leave this studio, but I want to say this to people. Those of you who keep saying, come to my place and see what I'm doing, you will know why I'm in Liberia. Come, I'll welcome you to come and visit where I am. Come and see what I'm doing. You will know why I'm in Liberia. Someone here gotta stop this nyama nyama thing here. God, what's wrong with us? Once again, man, thank you so much for the show. Stand up. I'll give it to you. I gotta
But before you gotta, I know you gotta go because
Yeah.
and we said thank you for joining us all the time. Pepsi Yeke, what was his position to Adu? What you know of
He
Pepsi?
was
Why is
director
he
of
carrying
affairs.
fire? Why you think he was carrying not ordinary firearm but EPS firearm?
The reason why is look, this is what even Kalasco was carrying a weapon. Pepsi Yeke's job does not require him to have a weapon. Let's establish that. He was the director of LIS. Basically, we are project, we are project, we are project. Now Pepsi was heading all that we are project. Let me tell you something. I knew Pepsi Yeke from far back in 2007, GSA junction. They better were changing money. Right at GSA. He's one of the wealthiest men in this country, as we say today. Money changer. When CDC comes to power, he's one of the wealthiest men today. Why was he carrying a weapon? Because he could. Because the government would give weapons to anybody with any affiliation of any kind close to President Weir. This was normalized in this country. And this was a dangerous thing. Why do we have security personnel if or personnel rather, if we have people that Pepsi carrying a weapon, if we have somebody like Kalasco, every single person around President Weir was taking a weapon for no justifiable reason. But guess what? The EPS were giving it to them because President Weir instructed them to. This is the kind of government that was being run. It was a boys' club. That's all they did. He doesn't want to return the weapon. He's behaving as though this weapon belongs to him personally. It belongs to the Republic of Liberia. It must be to return. And I think Director
Thank
Gates
you very much. Thank you very much again. We'll see you tomorrow, my brother. As always, it's good to have you. I understand that Asido is in the studio. He's happy because you're leaving. The father, he just do not want you to interrupt him. So Asido, you have your time. You're so happy because your brother leaving. But let me come to Glenny. Glenny, I want us to read Pepsi respond. And then we'll go into the EPS because I spoke with the director. I will call her tonight. That said that the letter was sent to Pepsi. So Pepsi, this is his response. Let's put it up. Mr. Gay, if you are incapable of understanding the task at hand, seek guidance from your former colleagues rather than flaunting your ignorance. To date, I have not received a formal request for the EPS weapon legally assigned to me. Yet, you rashly labeled me as armed and dangerous. Let me pause on that first paragraph. Legally given to him. Was he an EPS officer?
That's the question. Why did he even have a weapon? He's ahead of list. Why would he even have a weapon? Not only that, President Boyka already issued a statement on the 3rd of February that people need to turn, all former government officials need to turn over government properties. But if he had a weapon, if it was given to him legally because he was a boss, that was Weir's time. And if the weapon is not his and it belongs to EPS, he should have turned it in. And what he's doing is blatantly having disregard for what he's been asked to do. And I hope they will catch him and jail him so he can follow what the rules are. He's not above the law. If he has a weapon that he should not have, he should turn it in. And that's That's for everyone else who has a weapon. Okay, they were allowed to carry it before, now they're not. So you have to do what it
Who
says.
allowed him, Glendy?
Probably
He's
the
not an
government.
EPS officer.
The government.
Can Percy, you think he understands himself, or he's under the first arrest warrant that was put up for him for the money that he didn't pay the gentleman? They're looking for him now. This one coming that he should be detained immediately, but
Yeah,
so he admitted. That's what Richard said. He admitted, I have not received. This is what actually people got to understand. And yeah, Percy speaking, to date, I have not received a formal request for the EPS weapon legally assigned to me. Legally assigned to me. That's what Richard said. He have admitted that he got a gun.
Yes, and actually that's what caught my eye, because you said that you spoke to Mr. Gay, and Mr. Gay said he sent him a formal letter before. And he's saying that he did not receive the letter. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that he has a gun that is not his, and I think the kind of cordial thing to do, the professional thing to do, if you're not in service anymore, nobody has to tell you that you have to return a property that is not yours. Okay, that's just something that should be a natural progression of your termination from the employer. But apparently he's saying that nobody told him, and I find his letter to be very defensive as well. He's very defensive, defiant actually. He's asking to go and consult with his employee.
I don't even want to go through. I want to hear from the sedition folks.
Can you stand up?
I think you're talking to someone.
Mr. Doe, you want to go, and then he's
I beg you. Yeah, so you laugh now. I beg you guys. The reason why this is Madam Esther Che. She's the chief of firearm and training, the division of EPS. This is Madam Esther Che. The reason why I call her, can you tell us about Percy Yeke and the letter issue, Madam Esther?
Yeah, okay. Like you rightly said, we got instructions from our former boss, Chokwan Rahabas, issue Percy a pistol. And he was written by the same man who gave us instructions to issue the firearm, a letter to return firearm. He received copy of the letter, and then the director informed me and said, the copy of the letter of which I sent to you is already on your messenger. I sent it via messenger. I even placed a call to him on the 25th of January, but he did not pick my call. I called him 2-3 times, he did not pick my call. He returned the call.
So let understand you, Madam Esther. Thank you very much for joining us. What's your position? Can you give us your position in the EPS?
I serve as the chief of training and firearms of EPS.
Who authorized Percy Yeke to carry a firearm?
The director of the EPS, then Choco Enroute.
Choco Enroute authorized him to carry a firearm. Who wrote the letter requesting that he return the firearm after George Weah government left power?
The Choco Enroute was the same director.
Okay, I'm going to hold you right there because you sent a letter to me with displayed. Can you tell Liberians to know whether Pepsi received this letter that was written to him?
I was informed of my boss that Pepsi received the letter.
Okay. You guys hearing me?
Rawas told me that, in fact, the very day Director Rawa was signing, the day he was signing the letter, he called me and said he was signing the letter, and he was about to send the letter out. So I said, okay. After he sent the letter out to me, and he told me to get in touch with the PRS of EPS, the Public Relations Officer. I got in touch with him. He confirmed that he told the letter to Percy, and he served me a copy of the letter, of which I sent to you.
Thank you. Hold on 1 minute. We are only 4 left here to ask you a question. I know it's late, but thank you very much for taking our call. Maybe you send the letter to my other messenger address. So text me, on WhatsApp. Screenshot it on WhatsApp and send it to me. Yeah. But hold on 1 minute, wait a minute, because you got my number now. Dr. Richardson, do you have a question, Dr. Richardson?
I have a question. It said routine to give the EPS weapon, like an EPS gun, to somebody who's not part of the EPS department.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Dr. Richardson. You in my ear and she didn't hear it. Hold on, let me remove this from my ear. Yes, I'm so sorry. Let me remove it quick. No. Just 1 minute. No, Dr. Richardson, she got to hear you. You are in the earpiece. All right, now you can go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
No, I was asking. Hi, madam. I was asking you, is it a routine practice to give EPS weapon to somebody who's not in the EPS service?
Is that a routine practice? Well, yeah. Sometimes the administration comes and they have their own staff. So there was an instructions for him, and he's the boss. We could not say no. Sometimes we argue with him. And the director says, do this, you got to do it. But it's not a routine.
Thank you. The people want to know. So how many people you think the director gave weapons to?
Well, Stanton.
Yes, Mama.
That's just limit the discussion with the issue of Pepsi, because Pepsi did not turn.
Okay, so if we do that, so have other people return their arms and ammunition?
Other people turn in their weapons. Other people turn in their weapons. They receive their communication. I reached out to them. They picked my call, and they came in at the army and reported their weapons. Okay.
All right, let me bring in Glendy. Glendy?
No, I mean, I don't have any question. I think she answered all the questions that we had. The fact that he was, because that was one of the concerns people were saying, how did he get it? He got it legally. And if he got it legally based on Liberia standards at the time, and they're asking him to return it, he should return it.
I don't think it's legally if the director just take upon himself, we get Glendy your gun.
Yeah,
I don't think it's legal. Yes. But we got that. Now we have established that the director gave it to him.
Give it to him. That's what I wanted to say.
Mr. Jackson, we got Madam Esther here.
Okay, so Madam Esther, thank you for coming and thank you for being a lady firearm expert and all of that. Okay, I spoke to Pepsi today, and he said that he was given the weapon because of his proximity to the president. Okay, I know he's a very close friend of the president, and I also know the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, or paramilitary. The president can conscript publicly or privately any private individual to have a firearm by him that he feels comfortable with. That's just a fact of life. People who are within the diamond of the presidency in terms of executive protection, some of them are given firearms. Now, Madam, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Mr. Pepsi Yeke, possession of the firearm, rises to the level of labeling him armed and dangerous and making this thing a national security concern? And are you aware that Pepsi Yeke left the country January 22nd and that he is with President Weah? I'm asking you these questions now. I'm not finished yet.
Aware, Mr. Jackson?
Yeah.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not aware that I'm not aware that Pepsi left the country. Or if I will send the letter on to Stanton, you will see the date of the letter.
Okay.
So the letter was written before even the inauguration.
Wow.
Yes, okay. The letter all were written before the inauguration.
Okay, so Pepsi, in his response,
I'm not aware he's out of the country.
Okay, you saw Pepsi's response. Okay, no, ma'am, this is Liberia. Let's just be very clear about that. I said this is. Yeah. Let me finish that. Let me finish my master. Let me finish. I beg you, Mama. This is Liberia.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Liberia, ma. Same gay than my buddy. I knew Sam Gay when he was a police officer in Philadelphia. I also knew him when we were both in ULAB together.
But when I ask a woman a question for her to go.
I know.
But I'm asking her whether they the possession of a sidearm, a pistol, by Pepsi Yeke, would she consider that rising to the level of he being armed and dangerous?
Yes.
You're not hard.
Mr. Jassy, we want to know you. We need to know. We want to know why Yeke has not returned the weapon. The weapon doesn't belong to him.
Correct.
It belongs to the institution.
But let the woman finish now, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, let you finish, please.
Yeah, he was asked to return the weapon. So why has he not returned the weapon?
Correct.
Why is he keeping the weapon?
Okay, so the man's not in the country, man. I'm asking you again.
Pepsi
Yeke.
But we'll finish you, Mr. Jackson. I beg you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, let the woman finish.
He traveled with the president. I'm telling you that the letter was written long before
prior to the travel.
Okay.
Yes.
But my second
so I
question
said, can you come in? No, one question each. No. I said, no. I beg you.
Dangerous.
Yes, he is.
I beg you. Mr. Doe, can you come in, please?
Yeah. How you doing, Mama? And thank you for coming on. Thanks also for your service to the country. It is my belief that you are not a politician. You are a military person, and so you stay out of politics, but you say things that are true. I know Mr. Jackson has already asked some of the questions I wanted to ask, so I will pass over that because we now agree that the president, being the commander-in-chief, can do certain things within his constitutional power.
What?
But I wanted to ask you, please. According to you, the letter was written before the inauguration, and did you deliver the letter with your hands, or was it through the internet, or was it through WhatsApp? Whoever delivered it, how was it delivered?
Yeah, Mr. Doe.
Yeah.
Stated earlier that the letter was written by the director. The director has in his office to dispatch officers. They dispatched the letter, and I was informed by him that the letters were dispatched, and he asked me to get in touch with the dispatchers and the CRP copy of the letter so that I could reach out to them.
Right.
They asked him to come to the armory as per my own schedule, and I reached out to all of them. Everybody returned the weapons except Yeke.
It's fair. My answer, thank you. You got one more question because she got to go. You got one more?
Okay. She can go. We can talk later. But thank you.
My answer, thank you. I will be waiting. You got my WhatsApp. Please send it to the WhatsApp.
All right, okay. I'm going to send it.
All right, Mama. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, ma.
So I just want to, Mr. Jackson has been on this earth more than some of us. I want to ask you, all of us, I want to ask you a direct question. Where in the world will you see that because someone is in close proximity to a president, that the president is allowed to approve for them to have a weapon? Where?
Okay, so can I answer?
Yes.
Please
cite countries.
Let me finish, but stop it. Stop it. Let me answer.
The countries.
Let me stop it.
Allow me to answer you.
Allow me to answer. Because you never had even bow and arrow before. So I won't even talk to you and I want them, man. So listen to me. I don't know what the let me finish. You don't know what the SOP is, and I don't know what the SOP is in terms of who can have weapon if they're in close proximity to the president. So let's just be very clear. There may be an EPS SOP that anybody within the diamond, you know what a diamond is? It is a triangular configuration of protection around a VIP, the president of the Republic of Liberia. Anybody who is in that bubble, maybe the president has the prerogative to grant that person the ability to carry arms just in case the presidency is attacked. You don't know that. I don't know that. You're speculating.
No, I'm not. I'm not speculating because
let me
finish. Okay. I'm saying to you that a firearm, a pistol, in the possession, with all due respect to my very good friend Sam here, I love him so much. A firearm in the possession of Pepsi Yeke, that should not have gone in the public the way it did, because you're asking for the man to be arrested. And the EPS, as I know, does not have arresting power. The
But
EPS does not have
any
arresting
law
power.
enforcement.
So you can't tell the EPS officers, if this man is committed a crime, you will refer him to the competent security office, which is the National Police Force of Liberia, because he will be illegally in possession of a firearm. That's where you do it. And then it will be the prerogative of the police to then put out that public service announcement for him to be arrested.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. We have established something here, Glennie. I know you want to talk about
I want to come back to Mr. Jackson.
Glennie, I'm coming to you. Glennie.
Okay.
So
all right.
hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to move. We have established something here. For me, I can say to the audience, Dr. Richardson, we have established that Tricon Robert, the former EPS director, authorized Pepsi to carry the EPS gun. We can believe that the president have asked Tricon Robert to give a couple of his guys guns. As we saw here in one of the most famous picture, like this one, who is this? Carrasco. He was carrying firearm. So people within the president's cycle, like Mr. Jackson is saying, once the president, the commander-in-chief, without any question, designate an individual to carry a gun, you can go for training and they carry a gun as part of his security because they travel with the president. That I can accept. No politics can break this one. Joseph Boakai today, that when you go to Liberia, you're right, he has signed you with him, he can authorize them, you'll train him, and you'll put them on the list. Those like an undercover security. We understand that. We cannot argue it. But Glennie, I'll give you 30 seconds because I want us to finish Pepsi reply, which is so important for us to do. Then we'll read the letter that was sent to Pepsi. So Glennie, say your own.
Cynthia, I think you're helping the conversation. The reason I asked Mr. Jackson this direct question is because Isaac Doe said we can now agree that the president was the one who said it was okay for him to get. This is all supposition. We don't know. We are making assumptions. We don't know that.
No, we are not making assumptions. Madam Esther came on the show.
Let's move on, Stanton. Let's just move on.
Thank you. Because Madam Esther came on the show and said the director, Tricon Robert, authorized Pepsi to carry armor. Let's just establish that. But now I want to finish this thing. I know you want to say something. What I bring in Conor Gray, I want to finish this thing. The second paragraph says, your sheer incompetence is hiring to procedure has not only led you to behave like, okay, this one is just, it's nothing juicy in this thing, but insults and demeaning comments from Pepsi Yeke because of anger. So I just want us to understand this, which is so important. Isaac, why you're saying, as the letter is saying now, he received a letter, why couldn't he turn this gun over?
So I just wanted to clarify first. I did not say the president authorized Pepsi to carry a weapon. I said the president is the commander-in-chief and can take certain actions within his constitutional powers. I didn't say Pepsi Yeke, the president, just to correct that. Now, let's go to the issue of the gun thing. There are things we have to establish. That's the reason I was asking the lady who just got on from the EPS. If you are claiming that letter was sent out to Pepsi, what we know, the way it is always done, and I'm sure all of us know, once you send a letter to a person, you deliver a letter to a person, the person signs on the letter, attesting receipt to that, and you have a copy. That's what it would have helped so much. Have we gotten that copy of the letter that Pepsi signed? Because once you have given him a letter, there should have been some form of attestation that this letter was received and there should be a copy. Now, CEO, I can write a letter right now intended for you. If that letter had not been delivered to you, or if you had not seen that letter, how on earth would I stick to every point that you were giving a letter? So these are very issues, and beyond that, I do think the statement from the EPS director. I was asking today if, I know he was confirmed, but I think after confirmation, there is something else that is done to them before they actually start performing their duties. But I was actually thinking to myself, such a statement, referring to Pepsi, someone that we all know, very quiet, easy man, as armed and dangerous, in as much as he is very close to the president, is also putting the life of the former president at risk. Imagine this brother and the former president is in a foreign land, and the security official from that foreign land sees
the man is back in the country. The man not in a foreign land. The man in Liberia.
No,
He's in Liberia on Friday.
No, he's not in Liberia.
Who told you that? Because you don't want to hire him? But
No, I spoke to him today, Stanton. I spoke to him
So
today.
where is he? So where is he?
He's in Italy.
He's in Milan. He's in Milan.
My man, let the man send picture. Yeah,
no,
let the man send picture. Just stop hiding the man, man. Stop, man. Just stop hiding the man.
Hiding for what? The man is in Italy. But anyway,
call him. Friend that is in Italy. Call him. I said, do. I just call my Esther. Yeah, call your own Pepsi down there. Yeah,
CEO.
I say, my leading former president, I can picture, man. Call Pepsi. Call Pepsi.
CEO, that means you
call Pepsi. Why can't you call Pepsi? Call him now. Call him. Call him.
Why?
You don't. They want to hear from him. They want to hear from him. Call him.
I am telling you that Pepsi is in Milan. But again, I wish I could just end my statement. I would think, that's okay to play politics. There are certain things you need to look beyond just politics. CEO, if someone is armed and dangerous, there is one thing you will always expect from anyone approaching that person that is dangerous. Somebody could easily shoot. Well, that man is a danger according to authorities from his country. And in my mind, our friends from the other side need to be a little moderate in the way they want to do this political thing. We know the EPS and the soldier people, all these people are not politicians, so we expect them to do those kind of things that would take certain national security items from the public and handle it just the way it's being handled. I know for a fact when we took over, letters were
written. How long you talk for?
But I thought you gave me my time to talk.
I give you 15 seconds only.
Okay, I end. My 15 seconds finish. I have a problem with it. I end.
Richardson, let me come to you before we bring in Conor Gray. These guys that will come on the show, they will never call the people there to speak to the Liberian people. Because they all are cowards. I want picture. You got to call. Picture that took place three days ago. They are all cowards. They are. They cannot come and face in the truth. But Dr. Richardson talked to us. You listen to my Esther here. The woman said, choke on. We believe the president said, get even the dogs and the fly guns. Because president, we had how you operate. He was giving everybody all his girlfriend and gun. That's exactly what he was doing. President Well was giving all his girlfriend and gun. But yet and still, they cannot return the gun back. But I know you will not say that one. So talk to us, Dr. Richardson. Where are you? Glennie will say, I respect Glennie, she will say, but you cannot say.
Glennie, did you speak too? I know you.
She not talked 3 times since you left. So please don't bring her in. 3 times.
All right. When my Madam Esther called, she said that it was not a routine practice, but the president agreed to, give some people guns. And, if it was a routine practice in a standard operating procedure, the SOP, like Mr. Samuel Jackson is saying, Madam Esther would have known that, okay? At least they should have communicated with her. So I think there's a problem with that. The president has a operating system that other people are not aware of. Number 2, the current EPS director, Mr. Gay, ordered the guns. Okay, how he's expressed himself, it is true. He's armed, right? He didn't return the gun, so he's armed. Dangerous. He has a writ out there. There's somebody saying that he owes them money. Who knows? Okay, who knows what his state of mind? He could be dangerous. So I can see where maybe you guys know I don't know him, but I don't know if Mr. Gay knows him. But again, you have to also put all of his past behaviors into consideration in order to term him. And I'm reading here, there's a writ out there for his arrest. All right. There's also, he has a gun. So it's easy to state that he's armed and dangerous. Number three, they said any law enforcement officer, I think when I read the letter, it didn't just say EPS officer. So they could have been referring to the police, because in my mind, the police are considered law enforcement officers. So again, Pepsi is not he's not beyond the law. He's not bigger than the law. We need to get law and order back into our country. He needs to return the gun. It is not his personal property. How he received the letter, he's here us on air telling that he needs to return the gun. He's aware that he needs to return the gun because he responded to Mr. Gay's request. So he needs to return it. We got to get the country back in order. You're not above the law.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. We'll put this stuff. Let's welcome one of the three military men here on the show, Ed Raymond Gray, Conor Gray. The story about Pepsi Yaket, and I strongly believe that this individual was given a gun because the president George Manawe authorized him through the EPS director then Trukon Robber to give everyone guns. When we were speaking about paramilitary, when we're speaking about folks carrying arms and ammunition in the country, the importance of them carrying this thing is to destroy the peace and stability. People like Acid Doe and Minister Jackson, they were blaming us. Pepsi, from Lace, they were authorized to carry a gun. And now he's refusing to return the gun back to EPS. He is armed and dangerous. Who knows how many guns were given to him? Who knows how many guns Carrasco had? Who knows how many guns people around the president are carrying currently? The stack of weapons that are in the possession of Jefferson Koji, authorized by President George Manawe. Those guys are armed and dangerous, so I applaud Sam Gay. This is exactly what we need to do, and this is exactly what we need to talk about. These guys, they are refusing to be disarmed. So they are armed and dangerous. Upon his return to Liberia, he should be arrested at the airport. Seriously speaking, this is not the CDC or rebel government that we had before. But talk to me, Conor Gray.
Well, hello, everyone. Firstly, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah, man, don't think ahead.
You made some good points. Dr. Richardson made some good points. The term armed and dangerous is when a weapon is in the hand of an unscrupulous individual. That individual has not been authorized by law to carry a weapon beyond the statutory time. Yeke is in possession of a weapon that should not be in his possession. Guns are dangerous; they're meant to kill.
Yeah.
So that makes him a dangerous element, and he has no law that covers him carrying that gun. So that makes the situation dangerous.
Soldier men speaking. Soldier men speaking.
So when the term is conferred on someone as armed and dangerous, it means statutorily you don't have the authority to carry a weapon. Period. Even the president authorizing everyone to carry a weapon, that is unconstitutional. It's beyond his constitutional right, because the SOP for security can be determined by a statutory body such as EPS. The EPS will determine the safety of the president. The president himself cannot call the shot. That's not his duty. So it's unconstitutional in that level. When it comes to folks like Yeke, Pepsi Yeke, they need to understand what day it is. And until you grasp the concept that this is not a George Weah's government, others have the statutory mandate to protect the state and the president in general. If a man who used to be in that corridor, in that circle, is still carrying an unscrupulous weapon that has not been assigned to him, or that was assigned to him but is in his possession illegally, that man is not only considered armed and dangerous. We should bring him in to determine his intent for keeping the weapon still, and that can lead to some jail time. I'm telling you. Under the UCMJ, that is, I think, Article 35. That is a criminal act. Now, who determines whether or not he should carry weapons still will be the Small Arms Commission. So everything Pepsi is doing is pointing towards danger. Um, if someone met him now and he puts up any level of resistance, he could be shot and killed because he has been declared armed and dangerous, rightfully so. So you playing with national security situation, you Isaac though, because I don't want to call you a dwarf. You have absolutely no knowledge in that domain. Stop playing around those areas. I think Gay was rightfully so to declare him armed and dangerous. We don't know his intention for still holding on to a weapon. That is not his, it's the state. And so therefore, if he puts up any resistance when met, if he shakes just a little, uh, we can diminish him, if possible, neutralize him, as we say in the military term. Whether or not you like it, that's how it goes, my brother.
And Colonel Gray is a military man. He's being very straight up. I mean, it's not Colonel Gray. I will give you another 30 seconds. It's not only Pepsi Yeke, it's Carrasco, Finda Bundle, and every one of them. Even the butler that were cooking. I mean, it's not, listen, to me, and I will say this, Colonel Gray, if the president said, you're train them and get a weapon, the president must say that. Well, I couldn't agree. I'm not in the Liberia military thing like that, but I'm saying he's the commander in chief. If he said another assignment, another group, and say, listen, train them, and it is legit, but for him to refuse and say, I will not, and he's not alone. They are refusing to turn over those arms and ammunition. Why? It's not yours.
The President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, cannot mandate anybody within his circle to carry a weapon beyond the Secret Service protocol. So that's just the United States. In
Greg,
Liberia,
can you say that thing again, please?
the
That cannot be
president,
very, great one thing. He got to find it and
That
show it to us.
soldier people talk, that soldier men talking, and not you. You were in
Colonel Gray
Marine for one day.
Colonel Gray wasn't in the military yet in America. He was in the military in Liberia. Let's get that straight.
all my training,
Give me better.
I'm begging you. I'm begging you.
all my
I'm begging you,
training,
Colonel Gray, don't fall for that. If we are talking about the U.S. trained military folks, you talk about Samuel Jackson, Dwalu, Stanton Witherspoon, you cannot include Colonel Gray.
Which
So,
Witherspoon?
Me. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Robina said. Robina said the ROTC I did. No, I wasn't ROTC. I beg you, Robina. Go ahead, Colonel Gray.
Center, I went to the United States Marine Military College in this country. I was trained there as a sniper. It maybe
Yeah,
over.
and I get it again.
No, I'm telling you, I can show you all those certificates.
No, I respect that, and I said thank you. But I mean, we got.
I went to Fort Leavenworth. That's the officer court.
I agree, but I'm asking you, were you an Army Marine? What was your group in America that you
So
were part of?
if a man went to West Point, do they have to be member of
It doesn't mean that you're U.S. It doesn't mean that you're U.S. military personnel.
When a man goes to Harvard and
it doesn't mean that you're U.S. military personnel. Let's just get it straight. Thank you. That's my argument. You're either 19.
Let's say I'm either 06 when Madam came to power, and in 4 years I became general. That's fine. You understand? In 4 years I became general, which is unprecedented. 90.
No, but we appreciate you. I'm just kidding. We appreciate you. Let's just move on to this conversation.
Thanks for your service,
We're trying to get.
Thanks for your service.
Thanks for your service in Liberia.
Thanks for your
I went
service.
to educated school in
You know,
19.
Liberia con business we're talking about. So he
I
has
see,
extra
though.
knowledge.
Yeah, he does. Colin Gray does.
Liberia con
I
business.
went to officer candidate school in 1984 and became a second lieutenant. So if you want to bring it up to 90, that's fine, but I have the training. Regardless.
And listen, we applaud. We say thank you very much for your service to the nation.
Thank you for your service, Colonel Gray. Go ahead with your speech now.
So as I was saying, the president of the United States cannot beyond his
Oh, you said it there? How you manage?
Beyond the statutory mandate cannot authorize other people to carry a weapon, regardless. That is not his mandate. It's the Secret Service that will determine who carries weapon. In our national security apparatus, it is the office of the National Security Council, you understand, that determine, along with the Small Arms Commission, that determine who carries weapon around the president. That is a natural look. The president is a state asset. So who carries? He cannot determine his own safety. A group of people have been trained to do that, and that's the EPS, the National Security Council, along with the Small Arms Commission. So those arms in the hands of unscrupulous people.
But I think I disagree with you. I'm sorry. I think I disagree with you. I think this one, as much as I would get mad with President, we are on everything. I think the president have the right, if he trains certain group and they make them part of the EPA as a unit or something of that kind, they just need to explain what are these groups that were carrying arms are legit.
No, that's not how it
the
works.
president, can you show us something? Can you show us something from Liberia?
I will show you.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask my question. Can you show us something that says the president has no right in this conversation?
One person has
something.
Imagine if one person has the right to determine who carry a weapon.
I just say, can you show us? Can you show us something? Can you show us something?
I'll do the research. I'll show to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So,
thank you. Asa, can you come on?
I wanted to note, Mr. Remy Gray measuring the issue of killing someone that he could be shoot and kill. I don't think we should reach that. No one will be shoot and kill. This is a country of law. We'll always do the right thing. Yes, I'm not a military personnel. A lot of you know a lot about it than I do. Probably I don't have any knowledge in that field. But I want to read this. This was a post from the Washington Post. Conor Gray, you said the president cannot. This was a post from Washington Post on March the 2nd, 2019, and that was published at 3:24. It said, Trump can give anyone he wants. I will send it to you. I am not the one saying it. I don't know nothing about military thing. I was sending in the chat room, and then you will get access to it.
No, you said Trump can give anyone?
It was just arguing about the same gun thing you're talking about. And I was searching, and I came across this Washington Post article that is directly against what you just said, that the president cannot. Again, we are just looking at it from a general point. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces and all other military organizations.
Now, can you read what you are reading? Read for me.
I said I will send it to you.
I will put it in the chat.
Right. So
as I
was saying, let's look at it from another way. Or Conor Gray, you are the military person. Let's say the president is traveling from here to Buchanan, and the president gets attacked on the highway. Don't you think that could be a basis for which the president could say, okay, you know what, you are not in EPS, but go for XYZ training, and you can be legally assigned a weapon because of your close proximity with me? Don't you think it will make sense?
I think Asido, let's just move forward. We got the letter now. I agree. For me, on this very serious note, I agree with what you say, that the president can authorize the issuance of weapons through the legal means. If Conor Gray say no, we ask Conor Gray to give us those documents to prove his argument. But I do believe, and we should say this, it's not because of George Manowia. People close to the president, you are now. Pepsi position was head of list, but probably had other responsibility. Okay, you have Kalasco, what was his position? Bag ball. That was the position, right? Bag ball, to carry the president bag, or photo ball.
Presidential
photo
aide.
ball. So Kalasco was a photo ball. All right. So he was a photo ball. That's okay. The president said, you know what? You're taking my picture and recording, carry guns. And if it is done legally, that's my argument. But till Colonel Gray can show us something contrary, then let's just move on.
What's the date of the
So I just put
thing?
So I just put the letter in the chat room. Let me put the letter up. The letter that was sent to Pepsi Yeke. All right, guys. Oh, okay, guys. Okay, guys. I beg you, Colonel Gray, I beg you. We'll come back to you.
Tell her how I argue with you. I'm nursing professional, man.
No, I'm not arguing with you, Colonel Gray. Let's move on now. If you find the document, send it to us. That's just what we would say.
Declaration of war.
When you find it, send it to us. We'll post it. But in the meantime, let's read this. This is what was sent to Pepsi Yeke. Okay? This is exactly what was sent. The Executive Protection Service herein inform you to kindly return the NP22 pistol mark 98071-91 along with 39mm rounds and an EPS handheld radio, which were issued to you for protection and communication purposes during the turning of this regime. Kindly turn in the items at the EPS Armory Unit at the EPS headquarters on the ground floor of the Executive Mansion between now and next Thursday, January 18, 2024. Thanks for your honest compliance and good faith. Yes, the letter. Mr. Jackson, the letter is there.
Yeah.
The letter was written January 10, prior to inauguration. We'll start with you, Mr. Jackson, because you are asking Esther for the letter. Now, yes, the letter.
Okay. No, basically, I agree that you sent the letter, but like I told you today, I called Pepsi Yeke concerned about getting something from the EPS, my very good friend Sam Gay, whom I have a lot of respect for, to call him armed and dangerous. And I wanted to find out from Pepsi his side. I mean, just out of curiosity, and also he my Peking, right? And he told me, he said, "Big brother, I'm not even in Liberia. I left with the president on the 22nd. Okay, I did not receive any letter from Gay or the people at EPS who are the firearms people, but I'm willing to give them this firearm." And he said, I responded on my page. Of course, that was a very cheeky letter he wrote. I understand that because the man was putting the foot in the wall and he has to respond. So he was very cheeky. But all I want to say is, look, this is a serious matter. I'm not saying it's not a serious matter. I mean, the thing of proliferation of arms in a poor country, in a post-war country, in a fragile country, these are serious issues. But I know both individuals very well. I know Sam Gay, consummate security personnel, police officer in the state of Philadelphia, DEA, hierarchy in Lagos, Nigeria for the US government. I know that. I also know Pepsi Yeke. I know his temperament. And the only reason why he had access to that weapon, and I disagree with Colonel Gray, Pepsi Yeke was probably the closest friend to George Weah and is within that diamond in the executive protection special operating procedure. People within that diamond who are close to the president may decide, or maybe you don't even know what processes went through, whether it was a determination made why Pepsi Yeke should get a gun or why Kalasco should get a gun. And Colonel Gray, I was captain in the Liberian Armed Forces. I was around Samuel Doe, and you know that, okay? And all of us around Samuel Doe had guns. will issue guns around Samuel door.
This has
So
to
so we're
stop.
looking, yeah.
It has to stop. We got to start from somewhere.
So if it needs to stop, the President Boca can go and put in the legislation to say that only I don't know what language they can use, because I mean, before you are issued firearm in any situation, military, paramilitary, you must get some kind of a firearms training.
Training. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't believe that President Doe, Mr. President Doe, President Weah would willy-nilly just grant firearms to people within his circle without any kind of without any kind of training, right? So what I'm saying is this: let us all take a deep breath, right? Pepsi Yaga is in Italy. I just put a picture of him in Italy with the president in our chat room.
Yeah, we're not showing that picture.
Huh?
We're not showing that picture.
Okay, so I'm saying in my own estimation, now I beg you, I don't think this rise to the level of him being armed and dangerous. I don't think he's a sociopath. There is no thing of violence in Pepsi Yeke's past. Okay, so I'm just begging Sam Gay and I'm begging other authorities to let a man come to Liberia so he can give them this firearm, or even while he's there. Okay, if they can try to reasonably put something together so he can give them the firearms, so that this cannot be a point of contention, because everything that looks like a specter of instability in the country, it undermines our stability and make people afraid of our country. Okay, that is the reason why. Yeah, you see all the things on the front page of newspapers or perhaps say armed and dangerous. It's not good for Liberia. It's not good for the country. It's not good for the country.
Thank you very much. You know what? You see, folks, I will say this, and everybody will have the 30 seconds for us to move on. I think I agree with Samuel Jackson. I do believe maybe it was oversight. Maybe, he was fast on leaving because we beat them, we beat them mercifully, and he forgot. I'm not giving excuse for Pepsi Yeke, but again, Sam Gate did the right thing. After he didn't reply to their letter, I do believe that he did the right thing to say he's armed and dangerous. You cannot take CDC for joke. If you do, if they catch you sleeping, you will pay for it. And therefore, it can be whosoever carry arms illegally. Sam Gay, the director for EPS, I was so surprised and I was so happy when he put out such a letter, a brilliant letter, one that calling their attention right now in the nation. Now, anybody illegally carrying firearm, they are armed and dangerous, because he is illegally carrying gun. But we should consider, as Sam Jackson said, allow him to come, pick him up from the airport, give him no diplomatic immunity, pick him up from the airport straight to the EPS office and let him turn over the gun. If he doesn't, he should be detained. And I think Sam Gay should go through the channel that they not arrest. They will pick him up. They will detain him till he can turn over the gun. We will not do this thing anymore. It's not jungle paradise. It's not a place that Jefferson Koji can walk on the street with gun flying off his arm. It's not a place that I said, though we have this group behind him and calling him Zege Zege. No, we will not. We need investors in the country. People hearing that Pepsi Yeke carrying arms, Funabono carrying arms, Carrasco carrying arms, the Buffalo carrying arms, the chicken and the pigeons, all Joey Tentene carrying arms. What a mess. But we exercise caution. And Sam Gay will do the right thing. He have given them a fair warning, folks, of clear fair warning. If you do not want to be embarrassed and you are carrying arms illegally, turn it in. And I salute Sam Gay for that. I rest on this note. You guys have your 30 seconds. You can speak to it, and we can move to the next conversation, please. Richardson, you want to go first?
Yeah, I don't think that a president should have the authority to give people guns at his will, okay? Especially if he has an EPS service to protect him. I think it should be the prerogative of the EPS service to determine, the guns that are needed for the president and how to protect him. Now, if a president feels like he needs extra protection, I'm not going to object to them buying their own guns, provided they are within the confine of the laws of Liberia. Why does it have to be the EPS property? And lastly, this letter, according to Madam Esther, she wrote this letter before the inauguration. Okay, so he left the country knowing that he had Liberia's property with him, or not with him, but somewhere in his possession. So he should have turned that in. Why would he leave the country and say, "Well, I'm not in the country, so I can't be held responsible for returning this gun"? And lastly, in his letter, he didn't say he was going to return it. He's asking Mr. Gay to, instead of saying retract, he said retrieve his statement. So that's what I heard.
The merits of sedition, what you expect, but let's just move on. Glendy?
As I'm reading, and we can send the information later and put it in the chat, even the President of America has no rights to tell anyone, to give permission for anyone, even the people closest in the diamond, as Sam Jackson would like to say. And if they were to change that, from what I'm reading, there will have to be laws. There will have to be, there are legal rights that are established to that for the president. The president may have high powers as it relates to security information, security details, but he cannot, according to the American system, he cannot be the one to authorize anyone to have weapon. And the people that are in the diamond, they are usually Secret Service people. They're not LACE people. They're not security people who, because at one point in time, I'm going to be with the president at a function, so I have to get going. And Mr. Jackson knows that. When you know the truth, you have to say it. You can't say that because somebody also Colasco, because you don't take a picture, so Colasco has to have gone in it, and he's not supposed to be in the diamond. Don't come here and don't come and make it look like we don't know what you're talking about. We have, regardless of which side of the aisle we're on, we have to speak truth to power. It's not right. Not any civilian, especially if they're a civilian. Especially if there's a civilian, they're going to give them gun to stay in the diamond as if to say he's the one that's going to be protecting the immediate surroundings of the president. That's not correct. And so we have to speak the truth. You the army man.
I think, Glendy, I think, Glendy, these people, they were trying to harm some of us. I think they were trying to harm some of us. I think Joey gave them gun to harm some of us if we had a chance to go to the country at that time during the election, and they were going to harm us seriously. I'm not beginning to feel that way. We just couldn't trust them. This guy will hang around the president, and when we try to hang around the president, they all get gun around. One of them can pull out that gun and say mistakenly he missed it. The gun it went off. You say not in the front seat, he say not behind you, he shoot you. It went off. Like the EPS got it killed. I put a picture in the chat room. They shot a man in the stomach. The raw picture is there in the chat room. In the head. How can a man shoot and say in the head, then shoot and say in his stomach? Yeah. Does that make sense? They shot a man on the side. They put a hole there. But all of them around the president get gone.
Stendo, can I ask you a quick question?
No, I guess somebody on the phone call. Let it talk for 30 seconds. You're coming.
No problem.
Go ahead, Sano Dazo Johnson. Welcome to Spoon Talk, sir.
Thank you, CEO. And let me agree with Conor Gray. The issue of firearm is a very serious issue in Liberia. And my brother Sam Jackson knows exactly to possess a firearm, one must be trained, whether you are close to the president or not. There are a lot of civilians that work with the president, that live with the president. So for a president to say because you are close to me, you have a firearm is dangerous. Let's go back to 1979. A gun was mistakenly fired that triggered that violence in 1979. So if you have somebody closer to the president that person must be trained as to how to manage a firearm. The Yeke does not even know which one of the sides that you put a firearm on. So you don't just hold firearm because you want to hold it. It's also dangerous for the president because that man is not trained. He has no knowledge in firearm.
Well, we can establish that, Diesel. You know, it's hard to establish.
The president, it is actually unconstitutional. No president will just wake up in the morning, issue this firearm to these individuals.
Well, we cannot establish the fact that whether he went for training or he didn't go for training.
I read the letter that was signed and issued by the EPS director. It's in the right direction. There are a lot of people here that were very close to George Weah, former President Weah, that are in possession of firearms. And this has posed a lot of danger to us. So I think Mr. Yeke is a dangerous person. He's not trained. He has no idea about firearm.
Thank you.
We are very look. I'll tell you this, Stardom. I will find the time to come in there because I have a security background. I have a military background as well. So you don't just issue arm to anybody you want to issue. Because that person could pose a very danger to the very president that we are trying to protect. So it is wrong. He must be arrested, honor our laws, to possess firearm illegally.
Thank you very much.
He must be jailed. And there are a lot of people. I will find time to come in there and explain
Please do.
who's supposed to be in possession of firearm or not. But it was wrong, and the EPS director is very right.
No. That I applaud Sam Gay. Sam Gay is 100% right. And as I said, he needs to be detained, arrested at the airport, and taken directly to EPS office and get the thing. That I can support Sam Gay on. But thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So, my point is this. The president's tenure ended at 12:01 p.m., January 22nd. Let's just be very clear about that. So whatever firearms that were issued to him by being in that presidential bubble could not have been given to them prior to 12:01 p.m., January 22nd. As a practical matter, and you all know that George Weah is not stupid enough to give firearms to people around him without the requisite training. That would not happen because that would pose, imminent danger to him by having somebody who is not trained in firearms to possess firearms. So yes, Sam Gay may have a point, and I respect my friend Sam Gay for what he's trying to accomplish. But all I'm saying, to push this matter up to the place where it's in the public domain that somebody is armed and dangerous, to me, is not a good image of the country in this democratic dispensation. So I'm appealing to all of us. Let us count from 1 to 10. Get our breath. Pepsi Yeke is in Italy with the president. Let him arrive, let him be accosted, and let him provide the weapon. But to say that Pepsi Yeke is armed and dangerous, and if you put that matter in the public domain, that means Pepsi Yeke could be arrested where he is now if the Italian government with bilateral.
Let the arrest the man. Who cares?
What I'm saying is that the man did not commit a crime because at 12:01 p.m., George Weah was state president of Liberia, and that man was entitled to have the firearm that the commander-in-chief.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
To have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson.
The commander-in-chief because he was in the presidential diamond.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Again, as though you want to come in?
Yeah, sure. So I wanted to ask the senator. I'm not sure if it was a senator on how does.
Yeah, that senator. That's
how does he know if these two folks were trained or not? If he had any idea. But this is what I wanted to say, CEO. I know you are calling for good thing. According to you, law and order has to return to Liberia. I agree. But then at the same time, the EPS should start arresting people now. So when EPS start arresting people in Liberia, that law and order there. I thought it was not law and order. So when we are calling for things the right way, let's call for it across the board. I don't know when EPS started arresting people now in Liberia. I'm not sure how it is. But
why you couldn't ask a question when MCC folks started arresting people under Johnson?
Hallelujah.
Why you should question when Johnson put the man in the generator room?
Hallelujah.
Why you couldn't ask a question when Jefferson slapped your deputy RG in his ear? Why you couldn't ask a question when Jefferson brought in guns and weapons in the country? Why you couldn't ask that question? How simple are you guys? No, I'm not finished.
Okay,
this is the bad practice of CDC that you will never test power again forever and ever. Even Judgment Day, you cannot test power. Even Judgment Day, because this is bad. You sat there, you ran a complete rebel government that all your folks get arms. You sat there, Jefferson Koji had 3-4 cars behind him, gave young men and women drugs to move around in the city like he was a rebel god, that they had to put him on sanction, not only corruption sanction, but human rights sanction. Did you ever talk to Jefferson Koji when he was doing all those arms? Did you ever ask Jefferson Koji? You never. If you were to ask him, you were going to slap you in the ear too. If he can slap the deputy RG, what about you who just deputy for football? You got to stop this thing. This is wrong, man.
Okay, you finished? You finished now, right? Okay, good. You satisfy yourself. You enjoy. Listen, the first time, like, you know, when we talk,
no, I take it back. You wasn't deputy for football. You were deputy for something.
The first time Liberia's government had total control over its military and security was during George Realignment. And
yeah, not because of your choice, because the UN left. The
you see.
The same thing
yeah. That emergency. The one that CEO was saying, you are not heard it before.
Oh my God! As it do, you know, Minister, do every time that guy tells you, "Oh, John, we are
the man was deputy for football. That's a Richardson. So I don't know how they carry my head.
Yes.
You should come on this platform and say George Weah government was killing people all around. Then we remember you. You shouldn't say anything. No, not you, not you as you per se. I'm just saying, like, genuinely. Sometimes should come and say guns were all around the place. Then we shut up. We say nothing. I'm not sure how you guys want us to have conversation.
No, I want us to have a conversation. But
CEO had just hired his son. He was singing. After his song ended, I decided to come in with the girls. And I'm telling him now that the first time Liberia's government had total control over its security was during George Weah term. And guess what? The country was as peaceful as you can ever imagine. If this country was a country that had guns all around the place, say, oh, you only have enjoyed the level of peace we enjoyed. And so you and I know.
Liberia was in the human
rights. That's the let him finish. I beg you, that's the richest let him finish, please.
You say, well, which human rights winner?
Human rights report. America issued a human rights report all the time. It's for
America has always issued a human rights report.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If Liberia is peaceful, we're going to have all the different types of
you keep Liberia. You are taking picture. You are having fun.
But Dr. Richardson, no. Dr. Richardson, it's not your time. Dr. Richardson, it's not your. Dr. Richardson, it's not your time. Let Minister, Deputy Minister for Football speak. I beg you. Go ahead, Dr. Minister.
You are taking me off track. As I was saying, even Dr. Richardson came to Liberia, she was at the park. I saw her beautiful pictures. She was having fun.
I saw it.
If Liberia was a country with guns all around the place, like you are saying, Dr. Richardson would be hardly in one dark car would not be seeing you.
You laughing. You talk your own thing.
Can I go finish that thing? We got one more story to go to because we gotta leave.
Yeah, all day laughing. Laugh at yourself.
Can I go finish? Finish
You
that
know, you know my brother Stanton, it is unfortunate that when we talk about a lawful nation, my older brother, whom I respect so much, is citing a lawless moment in the history of our country when the military took over the constitutionally elected government. And you have a jungle, the erection of the Wild Wild West. How would somebody around President Doe, who had just seized power, national state power, unconstitutionally not carry unconstitutional act? It would be an anomaly to even make that statement. Doe was rightful to carry a weapon along with untrained people that were around him, like at the time, maybe like my brother Sam Jackson. Definitely. But we're talking about, look, the president by himself cannot even declare warfare, let alone issuance of weapon is a declaration of war as well under the UCMJ. The president cannot just take a gun and give to someone. You understand? Unless Congress approve. In this case, our legislature. So anything that has to do with warfare, weaponry, the legislature must have a part. President we cannot just take arm and say and share it around like weapons are meant. They're declaration of war. If you have all these people carrying weapons, matter of fact, there are garrison now of people around Samuel. Around Mr. Weir carrying weapon. That is an act. We must know the intention. Why so many people carry weapon that have not that illicit weapon that have not been authorized to them. You understand? Whether it was given to them under the constitutional period, but now they're an authorized carrier of weapon. So, in a group number of them, that's a garrison. My brother, it took 5 men to destabilize Liberia, the entire country. The people you naming there are more than 20. So, Sergey was right. Matter of fact, I'll even elevate that call from armed and dangerous to shoot on sight.
Oh, yeah, man.
What? But you play. Look, when you want to institute law and order in a country, you don't
Thank you,
bend the
Colonel
rule.
Gray.
You don't
Yeah.
bend the rule, my brother. Let them find a way to bring those weapons. If they come out alive, that's good.
We're not hearing you, Isaac. Are you talking to us, Isaac?
I'm saying it is a good thing that Conor Gray is not serving Liberia. He will be one of the most dangerous person we'll ever have in this country, and it's a good thing. I tell God, thank you, and I'm sure no one is going to call him anywhere near anything.
Was dangerous for Ghana. Look at Ghana today.
Imagine you looking at somebody talking about shoot on sight. What kind of military school you went to? You will be. It's a good thing.
What I'm saying.
Military.
Let's move on, guys. Let's move on.
Such a platform to be saying,
guys, let's move on now. Let's move on. I beg you guys. I beg you. Let's just close on this real quick. I posted this. This is from the small arms and prohibition of military style weapons. No government department, authority, groups, agency, or person shall import, export, sell, or purchase any military-style firearms or ammunition or components out thereof. The government of Liberia can transfer small arms and light weapons into the territory of Liberia if it obtains an exemption certificate for each transfer from ECOWAS. This is very important. Going back to Jefferson Koji, when he and his commander went to Israel and they brought arms, the arms that they cannot find today. No person not in active military service of the Republic shall keep or possess any military-style arms, small arms, and light weapons or ammunition, or component parts thereof, except by written permission of the Minister of National Defense. This is important.
Now you read it.
Except, that's the exception, folks.
It means yes. It
So
can happen.
I don't know. Let me finish reading.
What a man in Nigeria, he a defense minister.
I beg you, folks. I beg you, folks.
Please.
People on the radio, people listening by radio, they want us to read this. Say, I beg you, people. Let me finish, then we can argue small. I will read 7.2 again. Did the president authorize Strickland Robert to give these people guns? Did he ask the defense minister to allow Strickland Robert to give these people guns? Now, the people, George Weah and his government folks, should explain to the nation. So 7.2 is very important. 7.1 was about Koji bringing gun in the country. That's why you're on sanction. Now we're on 7.2. No person not in active military service of the Republic shall keep or possess any military-style small arms and light weapons or ammunition or component parts thereof, except by written permission of the Minister of the National Defense. The police shall seize any military-style small arms and light weapons or ammunition found in the possession of any person, unless such possession is by a written consent of the Minister of National Defense. The refusal to surrender a military-style small arms and light weapons or ammunition shall constitute a grave criminal offense as defined by the law. Okay. I want to go to Mr. Jackson. While we close, I beg you guys, no interruption. Let's just enjoy this two very important paragraph from the small arm. From that, and I said thank you to the gentleman that sent it to me. Sorry, I don't know your name, but thank you very much as you research for Spoon. Mr. Samuel Jackson, I want to hold you on 7.2. Can we now clarify that we don't know yet? Maybe they will tell us that this Yeke guy was given a gun, or whosoever possessed guns around the president with permission from the National Defense Minister.
Okay, so everything we are saying here is all speculation, right? So it will be a good thing, okay? Because this issue has arisen, I think the authorities, the new authorities, should conduct an investigation to make a determination as to how these arms work. But in the grand scheme of things, it does appear to me that the commander of the armed forces of Liberia, who can instruct the military, the defense ministry.
Correct.
Because the president is the commander of the armed forces of the
Advice
Republic of
and
Liberia.
consent of the legislature.
I beg you, no interruption, Conor Gray. I beg you. Conor Gray, no
Gray,
interruption. Don't do this. Conor Gray. No. Mr. Jackson, hold on. Conor Gray, hold on. Please, you have your time. Do not interrupt. We have 30 seconds. We got to go now, please.
I'm not talking about declaration of war.
So can you go ahead, Mr. Jackson? Can you finish? Can you finish, please?
Yes, I was talking about as a practical matter, and because of the proximity of certain people to the president, and because of, as you know, Conor Gray, there's something called the diamond in executive protection. People in that bubble, it would be a practical thing to give them some kind of small arms training if the president makes a determination that this will beef up his safety because he needs human bodies for his protection and the human bodies to have arms to be able to respond to any physical attack within that proximity. So since we do not know, all we're doing is speculation. Now, Conor Gray, you're being very dismissive. You want somebody to be shot on sight. And I mean, and let me tell you something, that nobody will be shot on sight in Liberia anymore. It was during your time, during the Doe regime, when people were being shot on sight. But it's not going to happen anymore.
Well, you said you were on the man carrying gun.
Yes, so, and there was an unconstitutional, unorthodox government. We wrote the 1986 Constitution. We gave ourselves immunity from all of the acts we committed in overthrowing an oligarchy. We gave ourselves immunity. And even right now today, that 1986 Constitution even gives the president sovereign immunity for certain action he takes as president in his official duty when he's running the country. And you are aware of that. But when you're talking about to to shoot on sight an individual, right? Extrajudicial killing, where you become the judge, the jury, and the executioner. When this man
Thank you
has
very
not
much.
even
Thank
caused
you.
any
Thank you,
crime,
Mr. Jackson.
I
Thank you, Mr.
think
Jackson. Mr. Jackson,
it's way out.
Mr. Jackson, that's why we love the conversation. I believe we will not advocate shoot on sight. I think it will be wise for Pepsi Yeke to turn himself in, or he will be arrested and taken to the EPS headquarters that they can retrieve the arms that he have in his possession. We will not follow the footstep of Jefferson Koji or any one of Joshua Little Rebels. We will not do the shoot of sight. I mean, I totally disagree. I mean, he deserved his time in court, and we shouldn't encourage the form of rebel activities. But again, folks, it's 6:30, 11:30 in Liberia. We get about 20 some more minutes to go. We must talk on this last story. We're going to leave this thing. You read the post. It's very clear. We'll come back to this. I want to say this while we begin to wind down. Sam Jackson, they're calling you. Mute yourself and talk to Percy Yeke. While we talk on this issue, something that was written today, the $40 million and the $20 million. Minister Isaac Doe, I want to come. I've read it seriously. Liberian people are still confused. Two things coming up, Isaac Doe, about this $40 million. The chairman on BCC, Councilor Joseph Jala, the chairman on PAC, Amara Conan, you have Edwin Snow, you have all of them. But as part of this information, I like who circled this thing. Government of Liberia, FY 2024, gross income balance as of January 19, 2024, USD 40.5 million. That also include both in fiscal year 2023 and fiscal year 2024 account balance. As a though you sent me this thing, you gave me hard time today. It's all on social media. Are we now confirming that $40 million were left and it was given to President Joseph Yeman Boakai government instead of the $20 million that was reported?
Well, CEO, I think it's more than just confirming. This is one president disagreeing with another president, should I say, for money in the tunes of some 20 million United States dollars. It's no small money. And the new government is telling us that they will be starting their term with 20 million. So it means there is some 20 million somewhere that someone needs to account for. We have said this from day one. We will say it again. And thanks to the Senate committee, now we are seeing just their report confirming what President we have said and what we have been saying, that the George Weah government left $40 million in our consolidated account, turned over to the United Party-led government. Now that the United Party's president informed the country that no, only $20 million my hands got are received. Someone needs to tell us what happens to the 20 million. In essence, it means 20 million is missing. Somebody definitely needs to tell us. And just to go a little further on the letter, it said the balance and the net cash position. The same thing I was explaining last time. Balancing the account in regardless of how much you owe, who you owe, does not change the fact that that money is there. So I think this is no small news. This is no small issue. One president disagrees with another president for 20 million. Someone needs to account, and we need to know exactly where is the country's $20 million.
Wow. Mr. Jackson.
Okay, so I'm going to speak as somebody who knows the political economy and knows about the consolidated account, cash balances, and those things. When the issue came out, when my learned brother, Brahma Kamara, was on the phone, I think the new incoming government was moving in a totally wrong direction because Stanton, a balance in a cash account, in an operational account of a government, is a snapshot of what that balance is as a particular day. There are things like, for example, like checks that may be outstanding that have not been cashed yet, that maybe have been given to people. There may be other claims against this. What I thought this new government will be concentrating on will be things of significant value, like, for example, to look at the central bank reserve position, the capital adequacy of banks within the country, the 9 banks and the 90 plus branches, whether they have enough capital, whether they are solvent, and whether there is liquidity within the banking system. The second thing that they should have concerned themselves with is to look at the net foreign exchange reserve position of the government, because that net foreign exchange position of the government is what enables us to finance our imports. And the rule of thumb, Stanton, is to have minimum 3 months of imports. If, for example, like if you say you are importing $1.2 billion of goods in the country a year, so you divide that by 12. So the minimum that is required, which is prudential to be in your net foreign exchange reserve position, should be 3 months of import cover. Those are the kind of high value things that we should be talking about, because this whole thing here about $40 million in a consolidated account is good political talk, but it does not have any technical impact on the solvency, the liquidity, or macroeconomic stability of the country.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. It was just passing by with this one because it was in our chat room. Let me bring in Glendy. Glendy, 4020.
So, for what I think, I usually don't agree with Sam Jackson, but I think his last statement sums it up. If they have 10 cents, they need to tell us of that 10 cents what's left. Who do you owe on the 10 cents? What's going to be the balance of it? I'm not going to continue. I don't think for me it's going to do me any good to continue to talk about the 40 and 20 million. The only when I will have an informed decision when they decide to do an audit, like the recommendation says, audit the accounts to see where the balances are, like Mr. Jackson, to see the liquidity of it. Do we actually have 40 million? Or will we pay so many people, what will be left? Or where did the 20 million come from? I think the only thing that's going to, because you have two precedents going against one another on what their balance was, it is important for them to do an audit. They have a committee already, audit the books and tell the Liberian people what exactly was left in the account, not 40 million, and then you owe 25 million out of that 40 million, or not 20 million like JMB is saying, and you really don't have that. So to clarify that, I think they need to go with an audit to make sure so that everybody knows and the Liberian people can have that information to say, yes, we know exactly what was left. But I think it's
you're talking about audit, and when would whenever they try to audit me at that formula, she go to the hospital and say
we're not speaking on the other formula again.
I'm not talking to you. You finished talking now.
We're not speaking, but you came right after my talk about Miata formula. We're not talking on Miata formula. We're talking about 40. We're talking about presidents here, leaders of the Liberian country.
Because if you tell your own, you finish. Let them be. Let put a new bottle on. Whenever they want audit Miata formula, she says she go to the hospital for 2 weeks.
That's not even true. Miata has called for audit. She has called for it.
I'm not asking you to defend a woman. Dr. Richardson, can you call me? Let me talk to you. Let me leave Piggy alone. Dr. Richardson. Let me know. I got to set this up for you, Dr. Richardson. Whenever they go beyond Miata formula, they have written her, they call and say, because I forgot about this story today, but she brought it to my mind. We want to order you. We want to ask you questions. The woman will spend 2 weeks in the hospital. She will get doctor note. Every great. The woman will get doctor note, and the doctor says she can talk to the auditor.
I not getting
How
that.
can a doctor tell you say you can't talk to auditor? So when they don't listen,
You
they
saw
say
it.
the bird pray for long life, not long fellow. Wait, should we get better? We stay on her. Where you did with the people 750,000? The guy went there, the guy knocked on her door and said, we from GAC, at some kind of C, we here to order you. She said, my dad don't say I can't talk.
What did Reverend Tablet say about the other money that you supposed
to? We talk about Reverend Tablet, yeah.
Thank you, Dada. But you see, that may even be a report here. We are talking all of the meeting that day. Monday, we got the report. We hear nothing.
What you say?
Let me say this. Let me say this, right? Wherever people just calling me, but still no. We went to order the woman. The woman said she said, first she was here at the hospital. She went to JFK. They said, but Oma, we get nothing on you. Go to your neighbor last and go home. The woman said, I can't go. They want. She said, I can't go. They want order me.
They're lying. That's not even true. The other family has called for a full audit.
But I'm not asking you to tell your own. You feel it? Let me tell my own. When you think you'll be that efficiency, let me say this. I believe for me, I won't do my closing to for me. I believe I said though. Okay. What Joseph Boaga said he made it and why he made it. I believe anything I said though say.
Yeah.
You see I know you're different because you're from ANC 1%. But I believe anything I said though say. You see, the issue here is that the people I said though does not understand the math. Okay, how can ASEDO come all of 664 individuals that applied to be vice president for West Fargo's? ASEDO came on the last 27 list. All of the last 27, he was selected on the last 4. I don't know how that happened. And this guy cannot understand the economy of Liberia, but he wanted to be the vice president for West Fargo's in Massachusetts. I don't understand what kind of voodoo he was using. It was pure voodoo economy. No, seriously. I have to say this. We put America up. He does the 64. He does the 27. When it came to the 4 individuals they were looking for, we had to call the people and say, don't give the man a job. That's how ASEDO went to Liberia. Make no mistake. They left 20-point-something million in there for Joseph Imabwaka government. The rest of it, that story. People running will say, Amara and the other lawmaker and say, please, go read the fine lines. Go see the amount of debt. The amount of debt. Millions, billions in labor tape, millions in US dollars that were left for Joseph Imabwaka. How can civil servants get paid? And Joe, we are celebrating with pigeons and saying he left 40 million. What is 40 million? Joe, we are dating. You know how much money was taken to the airport when Joel was leaving? All that people, you know how many bags of money they put in that private jet when Joel was leaving? No, Papa, let me say this thing. Papa, stop. Let me say
campaign over. Campaign over.
No, it's not campaign over. Let's tell the Liberian people the truth. Campaign not over. You think why Joel get all these guys there around him? You think they're paying their own transport, they're feeding themselves, they're booking their own hotel? That's a lie. Joey has so many bags that Mawani did. I don't want to call the person that gave him that money from the bank, but we have the information. And he lied to the nation and said he left 40 million. 40 million where? Come on, folks. This is bad for ASEDO to sit on the show, Minister of Football, and talk about the government leaving 40 million. It's a disgrace. What is left in the account was 20 and change. We went over the math. I want Liberians to understand it would take everything with this government. Joseph Imabwaka president, Jeremiah Kun vice president, and the work of Boma Kamara and the entire team to help take Liberia out of this mess. Even bring $300 million, it will not help us. Because these guys on the cemetery, they have destroyed the country. They have taken Liberia back in the dark age that will never, ever, if we fail to pray, redeem ourselves. And every day I said, talking about you hiring people. How many girlfriends Joe didn't hire? How many girlfriends he didn't buy cars for and put it on the government budget? You stop this nonsense, man. And you're saying you're going for a retreat. You're going for a retreat.
You finish your message now. Let's come to the real thing.
We get once he decent to close. After that, Richardson Conagray, you will come on. Then we go. Does the Richardson go ahead?
You know, I like the fact that we are talking about law and order returning to Liberia. I'm not opposed to Mr. Gay asking Pepsi Yeke to return his gun. I think that's the first place to start. I think, in fact, there should be a public display of that gun when it's returned, to tell people that we are not joking around with people with the law in our country. I also where is John Malu when we really need him? Where is John Malu? I believe it's time for
John Malu is coming.
Yes. Okay. Yes, because John Malu was talking about this exact same argument. CDC and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had this argument back and forth. I left X amount of money. Ellen would say, CDC said, no, you only left us this amount of money. Here we are today. We see CDC and the same Unity Party, Buckeyes Unity Party, coming arguing over the same thing. I don't know how did President Buckeye come up with the $20 million that he saw, but I believe if it is not true that he saw, if it's not true that $40 million was left in the bank, he should come and speak to the Liberian people. Tell us exactly where are the outstanding bills that he inherited and how he drew the conclusion that it is $20 million that was left for him. At this point, it's you say and I say there's too many unfinished businesses occurring in this government now, too early, that I want President Buckeye to speak about that. I really want him to speak about how did he arrive. I want him to speak about how did he arrive to the 20 million when the
No, he's not. No, he's not. You got Americana, the finance minister. He's not going to speak about it. Americana came on the show and spoke. Why would you want the president to leave all the billions of things you got to do to solve Liberian problem to come tell you that the richest say hi, arrived to 20 million? As a matter of fact, Bwema Kamara, the finance minister, is your brother. You can call him. Bwema Kamara, let the people know. No, don't do this. No, don't do this.
No,
Kamara is related to you. Call him. You explain to you.
That is not in favor of the United Party. That's what you're just jumping. I'm saying President Buckeye was the one who told us about the 20 million. Former President Weah was the one who told us about the 40 million. So President Buckeye should come back to us and tell us, say, listen, this is how I came up with
You're not getting
million. Okay, if he's going to say his messenger, that's fine. But somebody needs to explain to the Liberian people how they came up with
Kamara came on the show and explained. Where were you?
Where
were you? He came on and spoke. He spent all the time taking questions. Where were you?
I was out that day.
If you want more information, go back and watch the show. That's your own family member. That's your own brother. That's the reason why we appointed him, because that's your brother and he disqualification. Oh, you bounce again.
That's the reason why I appointed somebody. I paid you because of that competence.
No, because he is overly qualified and he will do a better job. With that we trust about Bwema Kamara. Let's wrap it to
This is unfinished business to me. So on this note, I will just say, since you interrupted me.
No, I'm sorry. Finish. Do your closing.
I just need somebody, whether through the finance minister order by the president, to come back and explain to the Liberian people about this $20 and $40 million argument. Let's put this to rest. If somebody of a political reason misinformed President Buckeye, he should come back, or his finance minister should come back and tell us. That's what I have to say.
Why somebody didn't misinform Joe Weah like they always would do under the government for 6 years? They lied to Joe Weah that they were giving current to Ivory Coast. They lied to Joe Weah that they were bringing rest price down to $13. They lied to Joe Weah that they had so many rests at the port. You remember Conor Gray? And Joe Weah went to the airport and said, yes, I will go and visit. He never visited the port. Mawani this lie. They all lied to the president. Why they can come and give a report? Listen, in our book, politician can be politician, folks. They can do their stuff. The election is not over. We'll remind sedition
Well,
where we came from.
How many closing you got now? 3?
Go ahead, Colonel Gray. Colonel Gray, go ahead.
You know,
That's a good one. That's a good one, Isaac.
one of the things that caught my attention when I went Liberia was the level of lawlessness. I just imagine the kind of job President Buckeye has. Look, people are driving on the opposite lane towards you when they have that lane designated for you. They're coming on you. Bikes are everywhere. Look, Georgia left us a wild, wild west. The issue of shoot on sight, you understand, it's a legal, lawful order. It's not some summary judgment, whether or not that's how Jackson wants to look at it. When you want to institute law and order in a country, you don't bend the rule, especially in that country I'm looking at right now. We have to make sure we bring back law and order for us to be a civilization on earth. Now, if people here in America, if Jackson wants to tell me he has never heard shoot on sight or armed and dangerous, well, probably it's not a part of this country. New York under Giuliani, you understand, was a wild, wild west. Just as you see Liberia today, it was because of the lawful order that make that place so strict. When you have a country where everybody takes the law into their own hands, you don't play with the rule. And don't bring me around security because definitely I can straighten up that country like NATO. But that's not the point. I'm a businessman. The issue about balance of cash. You understand? Firstly, why we belaboring this issue? That will be paper trail. When someone say I left 40 million there, the other one say 20, it's balance of cash minus liability. So let's go. What was left there? If a penny was removed from there, we'll see the paper trail. Why are we belaboring this issue?
Because
You
nobody's
understand?
talking to us. They're hiding this. Whatever.
Look, Joey is used to lying. So for me, anything he says, I just don't believe him anymore because he has never even won my admiration. The guy's a liar. They run a lying government.
You're right.
Lying
You're right.
tongue. So anything they say, look, trust me, you have to go verify. These people they're not known to follow the rules. So I don't
You're
even
right.
like to hear they comparing someone's credibility to somebody like Joey who doesn't even tell the truth. You wake him up and he has streamed a cadre of liars. I think our man Isaac Doe probably is becoming part of it. Never mind pretending yet.
Hey, Colonel Gray, thank you. As we move on, let's give it to them. Let it close the show. I think we all should just leave and leave it with them to close. But we're not do that. Glennie not close. Glennie, you close?
No, I did not.
All right, let's go to Glennie first. Then we'll go back to the last two sedition. But Joey took a lot of money from the country. A lot of money. It was in those suitcases. A lot of money he took. He put in a private jet. That's why they are celebrating on. Go ahead, Glennie.
So great show. I just want to ensure that we depend on people like Samuel Jackson. I'm going to hold him accountable to help direct the discourse because he has the experience.
Yeah.
But when you and we're depending on you to do that because we want to know what the difference is and what the truth is. And we don't expect you now with your age to continue to do the CDC tabata with us. We can't continue to have that. We want you to speak truth to power. And you're here, I think you know you're well versed. So we can't come here and you be telling us things that you know are not true and you're trying to cover it up. You have Colasco taking pictures. Why does he need a gun for the diamond? Why? Why are you even equating it to the fact that all the people that are in the close proximity and in the diamond, the president that need gun? That's not right. Why would he need a gun? I hope he has turned his gun over. And to the list director, wherever he is, Pepsi, Yeke or Pepsi, whatever, I think they should wait for him at the airport.
Yeah.
And read and direct him straight to the EPS office. or take him to wherever the gun is. I don't think they need him to even enter the country without giving an account of where their gun is. When we know better, we must do better. But equally so, we have to be balanced in our approach. There are some things that the current government has not been able to wrap tight and to do it correctly. And we're expecting them to start getting things correctly, doing it correctly, and getting in shape. We still have not heard anything yet about them declaring the access, except for the 3 senators that did. We want to hold Joe Biden accountable for that. He said he would do that. We're expecting to do that. And that is also for Kuhn and everybody else. It's almost like this declare access nonsense. Dylan then did it the first week. It's like a silent topic. No one wants to talk about it. We will talk about it. We'll hold him accountable. And so we hope that by day 30, they will have at least 75% of the people in the position. But it's a good thing. There was something we escaped. I think I had sent it, but there was the pastor name for that podcast that I sent to you, Stanton, with Reverend Cheeks. Some Reverend Cheeks who he preached on Sunday, which I felt was.
I had the whole thing, but I see that it's not necessary to talk about it, Granny.
Well, it's necessary because he used the pulpit.
Granny, we're not going to talk about it, Mama. Let's keep to our talking point, please.
Okay, yeah, but there's no talking point. I'm closing, so I can close it anyway. And you want me to
we don't want to upgrade them. Like somebody.
Let's go to the next, because these are things that's happening in the country that we need to speak about.
People want elevation, and if we elevate them in such a way, we give them the time and the glory. So sometimes I just don't wish, we got to be mindful not to. The pastor said a thing in church, maybe 10 people didn't hear him. Then
a lot of people heard it, just as Prince Johnson. Everybody heard Prince Johnson. People heard it too. But anyway, I found out his name, so I will take it to my personal page because I will speak about it on my page. But I think we all, Liberia deserves better, and we all need to ensure that we help to redirect the course of our country and be fair in whatever we say and whatever we do, so that we can get what we want for Liberia.
I got a message for you because you brought up the 365,000 from Reverend Tapper. And what happened is that Reverend Tapper, they have come up with a comprehensive report.
That was 2 weeks ago. I don't even
you interrupted me though.
No, but you interrupted me because you already finished closing.
You are finished.
I was not finished. Don't got bring Tapper with Tapper. Tapper came on here like a pastor and explain that he will come on Monday to bring report. It's 2 weeks later. We ain't hear from Tapper yet.
I want to give you the information. And
I want the message. I want it.
All right, Minister Doe, can you go ahead?
Yeah, thank you. Good show.
I would not fall in your gender trap on this show. I would not do it. Go ahead, Minister Doe.
Good show. Always nice to be here. Again, President, we are stated 40 million. The central bank governor stated 40 million. The Senate, 2 committees from the Senate are now stating 40 million. The only person that have said 20 million is Mr. Barkai. The president is Excellency. And we are calling on this new administration to tell the Liberian people what happened to our $20 million. 20 million is hell of a big money. To just say, okay, that mistake. It's not just mistake. We were accurate about debt Liberia owes. Liberia can get 1 billion of debt. That's not what we argue. We argue about how much money you made there. And we really think we should know. And next to that, I know my own sis, Glendy, just tried to pop on the asset declaration thing. Standard Waterspoon was on Spoon FM from 8 to 12, beating on CDC for asset declaration. Right now, it seems to be, oh man, not anything, man. Let people just wait, man. They're giving them time. We want to call on the new administration. They have preached so much about transparency, about corruption. Up to this time, we are not hearing anything of asset declaration. Neither the president, my own big brother Jeremiah Kuhn, or all those that have been appointed, confirmed, none. We tried this slap in our faces, to only come and talk on the campaign, and the reality of things now is just the other way around. And we are hoping that at least by the weekend, we should get some news of president being declared by the president, his vice president, and those who are already confirmed. Those were the things promised by Brent people, and I think we need to get it. And lastly, on
Thank you.
this, LEC is going too bad. We want to ask our known government to kind of step, we're promised, Liberia will get better from day one, that things will start happening. Now it's I don't know what. LEC is getting worse. It's just 4, 5, 6 hours a day now. We don't know what is going on. And we think that is concerning to a lot of people, like things really turning back.
Thank you very much, Minister Doe. I'm just so disappointed and so I'm just so disappointed and so ashamed on the fact that Joe Weah took forever to declare his asset and he couldn't give it to the people. But I can assure all Liberians, before we go to Mr. Jackson, who will take us home, this President Joseph Yema Boakai, this Vice President, Jeremiah Kwankum, they will declare the assets. They will show to the Liberian people. Listen, we are not running on your time, Minister Doe. Your time was 6 years, and you messed it up. Okay? With 2 weeks in this government, the President, Joseph Yema Boakai, will declare his assets, and he will make it available for the Liberian people to see. The mistake you make every day, like my brother Dwight would say, you repeat yourself. It sounds like a church drum, and it will be sounding like an Aladura church. So we're just here to tell the people that the best thing we can ever do to give this person a chance, that of which we have given this president, he will declare his assets. This vice president will do same. It's not at your own time.
At that time now.
Okay? So continue asking for it. We have for 6 years, we never had it. But let's go to Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, man, we really appreciate you on the show. You are a great addition. And we say thanks to you and Doe and to the many others that will be joining us. Believe me, we have different segments. Okay, once Titi return, because she's out of the country, she have all this in plan. We have different segments of Spoon Talk, and you guys will be all in. A lot of people reaching out, they want to be part of the program, and we appreciate that. But on this set, Mr. Jackson, Minister Doe, Ed Remy Gray, Glennie, and the entire set. We laugh, we joke, it's nothing personal. But the only person that trying to give me a hard time for the next 3 weeks since she been with us is Glennie. I'm just accepting it for a little while. Well, go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
Well, what's it? Stanton, I mean, you're my heart. I have a lot of admiration for you, what you've been able to accomplish, to create a media empire, do it with your own resources, and bringing people with different views, and you may disagree with people. And this is good. This is the democracy that I went to jail for. This is democracy I have beating on my back for. But look, I want President Boakai to succeed. I want President Boakai to succeed because I don't think Stanton, like 5-year horizon, 10-year horizon. I think in terms of a year horizon at my age, okay, because a lot of my friends have, gone to their graves. So one of the things that I'm watching is the composition of the rescue team. And there was a name that we mentioned today, John Mullu. Why isn't John Mullu yet part of this rescue team? And what role will John Mullu play in terms of accountability, in terms of governance, in terms of transparency? If you look at a significant portion of the cabinet so far, Ellen Redo, Ellen 2.0, the same people that John Mullu fought. He fought these people. And I don't know, Stanton, if you were part and parcel of Liberian politics when John Mullu was Auditor General. They tried to kick John Mullu out of Liberia. They tried to undermine his audits. I was the first ally, and you can call John Mullu and ask him, I was the first ally of John Mullu on the county development funds when Ellen gave county development monies, and these people squander it. Ellen wanted somebody. Go to Ellen's 2009 State of the Nation address. My name is in that as somebody that she sent with integrity to go out and
I saw
contemplate. You know that.
I was there.
Remember
So
that?
yeah.
Yes. I went out, Stanton, because I have the credibility, and no one can jerk my chin for me to lie about public accountability. I went to all 15 counties and 73 districts and found out that 70% of the projects were either not finished, abandoned, and some of them were not even started. President Boyka needs the likes of John Mullu to be in the transparency and integrity institutions for him to get the instant credibility he needs. If I don't see John Mullu in a pivotal position in this government, and I continue to see the have-beens, those dinosaurs of yesteryears, like my friend Sylvester Grisby and others, and they are the people within that concentric circle there, who Joe Bucker will listen to early in the morning and they'll ask for him to listen to. This train is not even going to leave the station. So I'm appealing to all of you, Sis, Glendy, juniors, and Stanton. You have a lot of influence. You are need to step with Joseph Boyka to put together a team that will have instant credibility with the Liberian people, because the Liberian people elected you because of what you promised them during this campaign. You promised them a top-notch, first-tier, Team A government that will come out of the running blocks, running.
Pape, you were taught tired, man. Let's go home back. You were taught
it's important.
It is, Pape. Leave Joseph, Pape, leave President Boyka, give him his 100 day. Let President Boyka, listen, there's a man with over 40 years of experience. He know the good, he know the bad, and he know the ugly. Let me say this. He know exactly what he's doing. It may not be to your liking, because your liking, it's not his liking. Your liking belongs to CDC Joe. Give Ambassador Boyka, President Boyka, the chance to structure a government that will reflect the people, a government that through this hardship and this trial time, that Liberia can come back and say, yes, thank you, Pape. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not saying you are wrong, but it's something President Boyka knows that you do not know. It's something that President Boyka is creating that will benefit the Liberian people. It's time to have patience. It's not an easy role. He didn't promise the Liberian people that it would have been easy. He didn't promise them that the road would be smooth. It will have silver and gold. He promised them a highway. But when we get there, yes, together as Liberian, we will get there. It may not be to my liking. I disagree with some of the decision, the early decision. But Mr. Jackson, it's time to give the president the chance to operate, set his government, and get this thing going. A lot is at stake. We'll come on the show and say, oh, it will not be right. Oh, he get people held in 2.0. So what? It's a mixture. He can even bring sedition. Once he know they are qualified, once he know they are competent, once he know they meet the credential level, not corrupt individual, we will support Joseph Yema Boyka.
So Stanton,
we'll support him. If he failed, no, let me finish. You said you were going to ask me from the beginning of the show. So let me give you a chance because we got to go. Ask me, my papa.
So Stanton, do you believe so far? And I want you to say it's a yes or no question if you want to. That the team that you see, the form and character of this team is a reflection of the best and the brightest that Liberia has to offer. The team that you've seen so far is the best and the brightest. That's what you guys promised us, the best and the brightest. Is this team reflective of Liberian professionals globally, in the diaspora and in the domestic sphere? Is this the best that you all could come up with, that Joe Braga can come up with? Is this the best?
All right. So you asked me the question, and thank God says Gladys is here. I'm not going to kid with you or Conor Gray. You asked me a straightforward question. It may not be the 100%. It may not be the 100%. But who's the head of this government? Who is carrying this train? Who is giving the Liberian people hope? Who know better than me? You talk about Grace Bay. I know Grace Bay from anywhere. I heard him on the news, picking growing up. Let's talk about all of them. But because Joseph Yima Bwaka believe these people will deliver for the Liberian people, I trust him. Because he's telling the nation that a newly appointed defense minister in the person of Prince C. Johnson will do a better job, I trust him. Because he's telling the nation that a newly appointed, the man that was confirmed, Gregory, will be a better police officer, police IG. I trust Ambassador Barker on it. That's why we elected him. We saw something in him. We believe his decision. And amongst them all, the Cummings, the Joviat, the Tewan Gonglo, the Madaya Cooper, all of them, among them all, the Joseph Yima Bwaka. The Liberian people say Joseph Yima Bwaka was the man for today, was the man at this time that he would deliver Liberia. 2 weeks, and you hear crying? It hit us so hard. But you know, change is not cheap. Change is not an empty thing. To transform a diamond into a precious jewel, you guess what? You got to polish it well. You got to clean it. You got to go through the fire. So let's hang with Joseph Yima Bwaka. Let's go through the fire with him. Let him make the right decision to help Liberia deliver. Mr. Jackson, you're a man of vast experience, and we respect you. But give President Bwaka the chance. Give him more time.
I don't have a choice.
Okay? Because if we want to do that, you have a place in Liberia to say, this is my company. Oh, you get mad to put this person on this side. You know why? I believe in him. That's why I fought George Manuel with everything I had. I trust Ambassador Bwaka. I spoke to him. I looked him in the eye. I ate with him. I drank with him. I watched television with him for days since 2016. And I know the man. But I will say to all Liberians, if he appoints somebody that you don't like, give him the chance. If he make a decision that you think is contrary to your view, give him the chance. Give him the time. If we can only do that, Liberia will be a better place. So I said, thank you, Mr. Jackson. And that's why you're back on the Spoon Talk. That's why a lot of people calling you, they applaud your good advice, your wisdom. That's why Ashley Jackson is coming. That's why a lot of folks going to join us. We have 2 segments. Madam Titi have agreed. We have the afternoon segment and the evening segment. Which one you want to come to, you come and join it. Because the Liberian people got to know this thing. Those that can come early and those that can come to 8 o'clock. And this Spoon Talk, by the grace of God, will continue. We will help our Liberian people to understand. People call for protest. Protest for what? People call for demonstration for what? Because Joey lied and said he left 40. Joey able to leave 40 million for Joseph Boakai? Guys, let her have a good night. May the Lord watch between you and myself, man, while we asking God for the better country. And let's pray for the president and the leadership. They deserve our prayer. They know something that we don't know. And I trust in the Lord. Liberia will be delivered. You have a good night, folks. Thank you for joining us always. Thank you, Glendy. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Conor Gray. And thanks to Dr. Richardson and the rest of the team. Have a good night. I know maybe your brother Nelson is off, or is he on his way?
Nelson is already, he's trying to get set up.
So while you getting set up, let me say something to you. I'm concerned. I'm deeply worried. You know, when I see you coming, you see, he know where I'm going. That's why he's laughing.
I know why you worry about. I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping.
But I
Go
see
now.
you. I see
sleeping.
everything coming from the corner, then I get confused. I say, hey, they begin eating me bow. But yeah, we want to say thank you very much. We're going to call Pastor. Listen, I'm not going to waste you guys' time. Let me call Pastor Raymond real quick. He's going to do the benediction. Shout out to all our good people out there. Again, meet us tomorrow. Let's have a wonderful show. Because through this, we said, because of you, we are here. Let me call Pastor Raymond. Then we're going to leave together, Dama. If you bring Nelson, he will keep me on. Please don't bring Nelson. Let me call Pastor Raymond real quick. Let's see if Pastor Raymond will pick up, give us the benediction, or I can give the benediction. Probably he's busy. What's up, boss? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pastor Raymond, we finished with the show. All is good, all is well. The Liberian people listen to our advice. We're going to give President Barker the chance to be a better president and to help save our country. Again, as always, please give us the benediction, sir. Where's my boy Nelson? We have Damo. Damo?
Yes, sir. I'm good, sir.
They're just small, man. Give me one. I'm not hearing you in my ear. Thank you, Pastor Roma. Pastor, Pastor, go ahead, Pastor. Okay. No, go ahead. Dama listening to you. When you finish now, then you do the benediction. Dama listen to you. What you ate today? What did you eat today?
I swallowed GB.
GB?
Yeah.
Where you from?
I'm from Grange.
The man can swallow GB. Pastor Raymond, we will open the phone line. Dama, you can switch up with Nelson. The folks want to call. Yeah. Let Nelson take call after the pastor gave the benediction. Let me give my benediction before you do your thing. Thank you, sir. Santa, what you eat today? Man, that's why I'm leaving you, because I want to go eat. Now you want me to say I want to leave you to go eat, and you still holding us. So all right. These are the pastors that I can make the church service too long. Damo. Yeah, these are the pastors that can make church service to go for 3-4 hours. You know my redeemer people that they can ambush you anytime, anywhere. Just say the benediction, let go home, then you want to keep her again for a revival. Okay. The man will keep her for a revival. This man, come on. So my dear brother, Diamond, the Liberian people, the panelists and their families, I say this to you on this good night. The God of steadfastness and encouragement grants you to live in harmony with one another, in accordance with Christ's lessons. The God of hope fill you with all joy and peace and believing, so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. The God of grace bless all of you now and forever. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen, Pastor Roman. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later on. All right. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Damo. Thank you. Yeah. I think you guys have a good night.
All right. Okay. Good night, folks. It's a wrap for us. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to Spoon Talk. Late Night Politics with Nelson Colette comes up next. This is how I bid you a pleasant good morning. Bye-bye.